The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Holy Testicle Tuesday.
Well, guys, some entertainment news. Fox announced that they are releasing a reboot of Baywatch. Now David Hasselhoff plays the old guy on the beach with a metal detector. Listen to this. I read about a man who broke a world record for having the most rabbit-themed tattoos. First he got 2, then they multiplied.
Employees at a thrift store in Canada recently discovered a World War II-era grenade in their donations bin. Luckily, since it was a thrift store, they were all able to get a fresh pair of pants. The fast casual chain Panera Bread announced last week it will add bacon, mac, and cheese to its menu. Fast casual is also how you walk to the restroom after eating it.
Meanwhile, in breaking cookie news, Oreo will debut 2 new flavors inspired by mud pie and tiramisu. Why? Why? Oreos don't need new flavors. They're already the perfect combination of chocolate and shame.
Good morning.
I'm tired! It's showtime!
Testicle Tuesday, I think I heard somebody say. Smoke them if you got them. I don't have any idea what that meant.
I like what Seth Meyers said about walking fast casual to the bathroom.
That's very funny.
I think all of us have been there before. It's happened in this building where all of a sudden I thought, whoa, where did this come from? I gotta go. And just trying to act like nothing's going on. I don't want anybody to know.
That was a very funny line.
Yeah, because I think, like I said, I think we've all been there before. And that's exactly the move you're going for. Like, just kind of briskly walking to my destination. Yep. Not an emergency. I don't have to poop. Do you have to poop? Why are you asking me about poop?
I'm not a grown man or a grown woman, grown adult. I'm not a grown adult ready to absolutely dump in my pants like a baby. No, I'm not.
And you don't want to run.
I normally walk this way.
But the second you get around that corner out of eye shot from everybody else, that's when you really pick up the pace.
Yeah, as soon as, we've got like a fart chamber in the men's room at least, where there's, you depressurize on the way in and way out with the 2 doors. And yeah, once that first door is open, you're running.
Yeah, you're gone.
That can happen. By damn, it can. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. We're just getting started over here. Just checking in. Yeah, that was funny stuff there in the intro, Cubby, no doubt. I got a question for you, Josh, right from the get-go here. I think I already know the answer. I'm sure I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway because you're my best bro. Am I cool?
Take this the right way. That's the dumbest question you've ever asked.
Okay.
Absolutely, you're cool.
That's what I thought. Do you think that you're cool?
Can I change something?
Yes.
A second ago, I said that was the dumb. Well, you know what? Up until that time, that was accurate. Now that's the dumbest thing you've ever asked me.
In a matter of seconds, I asked the dumbest and the second dumbest questions that you've ever heard.
Yeah. No, I am not cool.
You don't think you're cool?
No. Well, I don't know. Let me ask you. You tell me.
I would argue that. I think you're very cool.
Well, that's nice of you to say. I've uttered the phrase, "Who's up for the Renaissance Fair?" How does that level on the cool scale?
That's about as cool as it gets right there. Everybody knows that.
How about this? I lost my virginity to the 1984 movie The Last Starfighter.
The Last Starfighter.
But I lost it to a popcorn bucket.
Oh, gross.
Is that still cool?
God dang.
I like The Last Starfighter. I was just thinking about that the other day.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Well, I've heard it said out loud. I've certainly heard it said out loud.
So there's a kid. He's very good at the video game The Last Starfighter. And it was actually, can you believe this? It was a test from some aliens to find somebody who could go fly a starfighter and kick some ass for him.
Okay. Now that you're throwing the plot my way, I have seen a little bit of this over the years. Unbelievable plot so far. aliens are looking for. Go ahead. What else? How does it play out?
So he dominates at this video game, and he's known for it. People come and watch him.
I can picture it. He's at the arcade.
Well,
crowd.
I think it's actually like at does he live in a trailer park? I haven't seen it since I was maybe 5th, 6th grade. But yeah, I think it's like in wherever he lives, they have one. And he gets so good, people come and see him, watch him play this game, and he dominates. And then all of a sudden, aliens are like, bruh, we need your skills.
All right.
This was actually a test, not just a video game.
You've woken me up to some memories that I didn't know were still bouncing around my noggin. Sure, The Last Starfighter, absolutely. I was just reading something before we went on the air here about a new poll that was dumped on Americans, 35,000 of them. How do I get lined up for one of these where I get included in one of these surveys?
You got to be on like maybe either somebody's mailing list or a regular visitor to a website where they'll say, hey, do you want to be a part of this? You just click on whatever you want.
All right, forget it.
Sometimes like on Twitter, they'll have polls, things like that.
Oh, that doesn't sound worth it. I guess I'm cool being left out. So 35,000 Americans were asked, do you think you're cool? And most of us do think we're a pretty cool person. I was just, reading that over. And then I thought, like, who are some of the coolest people of all time in my book? And I didn't have much time to think about it. These are just a few that came to mind. Some of the coolest people of all time in my book. Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Oh, man, so cool.
All-time beer league hockey and softball living legend Calvin Portner. WWE Hall of Famer, the Honky Tonk Man, and former North Star Bobby Smith. Those were the four that just came to mind that I had time, to write down.
I thought of a few.
Coolest people you've ever, not necessarily someone you personally knew, but someone you saw on television. Who would you say?
I'd say Fonzie from Happy Days. Punch from Chips.
I didn't know we could go fictional characters.
I thought you did.
No. The Honky Tonk Man, Calvin Portner, Davy Jones, and Bobby Smith.
Well, I guess I was the Honky Tonk Man. I know it's a real person, but it was a character, TV.
I suppose.
So I was going off that.
Poncherello, Fonzie.
Yeah.
So far, you're partial to Italians.
Well, J.J. Evans.
Oh, sure.
Obviously, Rocky, Rambo, same guy.
Jesus, yeah. Well, that's a hell of a list. Do you think you're cool? All right, what do I have here now? The majority of us say yes. I know I am.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I figured.
Are you okay, Waffle? I'm concerned about.
Well, what voice was that? What character voice was that?
That was just me. That's just my voice.
Are you sick
now.
again?
No, you're sick.
Like my voice has just been terrible the last couple of days.
Okay, here we go.
Right,
can we get anybody healthy in this building?
I know. I was telling Nick off air, Dana, we've got these studios which are not soundproof, but they're close, and we hear Dana coughing, and you cough so loud and like such an old man. I've had a feeling once before, like, Dad, are you back?
I have grandpa coughs for sure.
You sound like.
What is the matter with you, Dana?
It feels like something like gets knocked loose in Dana when he coughs.
Yeah.
In somebody else, he coughs so hard.
I'm telling you, this is the bottom line. Now, Wapple you sound terrible.
Oh, it's just, my voice has just been getting worse.
You must be sick again, which is very odd because you were recently sick, and that was the first time you've been sick in 15 years or something like that. This is it. I'm not going in your studio. For folks who don't know, we got Dana, Wapple, and Ashley all in one separate studio. Josh and I share one together over here. I'm not going into your studio over there until we boil it first. There's something going on over there. You guys, you all look terrible. You sound terrible, except for Ashley.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good.
Well, before the show, I went and visited Wapple, and it looked like you were asleep. Where I even asked you, you remember? I'm like, are you okay? You look terrible. You sound terrible.
Yeah, it's just been bad couple of days.
Were you screaming? Were you in a terrible screaming match with your girlfriend?
No.
/ landlord?
Just bad personal couple days.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
What happened? So you were screaming at somebody?
No.
Do you mind sharing? Can we talk through it?
Just like a funeral last night. And
Were you screaming at the funeral?
No.
You shouldn't scream.
It was just a party. It was just a
You
blast
partied your nuts off.
No, it's just like the sickness that I had, and it's just been like it just got to my voice.
It's hanging on.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are sick. I didn't know you were still battling.
Oh, yeah.
But I did like how when I first said, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" You're like, "Oh, nothing. It's just my voice. Nothing going on here." Then all of a sudden, the voice cracks and you sound like you're dying.
So again, do you think you're cool? That was the question asked to proud Americans, and most of us think we are. 53% said, "Yeah, I'm cool."
That's good.
29.
I wish it was more. I wish more people. Because there are people that think they're cool and they're the complete opposite of cool. They're actually an a-hole.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't like my jokes, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not really funny. You're just incredibly mean and nothing is funny about it.
Or you have no comedic delivery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's been one of my pet peeves before, when somebody thinks they're throwing a funny line at you and it's just awful, and then they'll say, "Hey, I'm just joking." Well, you better work on that because no one can tell. The delivery was terrible. That's what you call a joke? That aggravates me.
I've seen that happen to you before, just when we're out somewhere. Somebody says something, and you're like, "I don't get it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Dude, it's just a joke, man." And I would say, "Well, get better at telling jokes."
Yeah, sorry.
It doesn't make any sense.
No one in the room can tell that you were joking. So here's the thing. 53% of us said that, yes, we're cool. 29% said no. 17% weren't sure if they're cool or not. Men were more likely to say yes.
Doesn't surprise me there.
Nope.
Age matters, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
3/4 of Americans under 30 think they're cool. 2/3 of people 30 to 45 think they're cool. 43% of folks between 45 and 65. Even some old timers, 28% of them still describe themselves as cool. They broke it down to where you live. It went on and on and on. Here's what I didn't like to read. This part disappointed me. Midwesterners, us, we were the least likely to think that we're cool. Where I think Midwesterners are the friggin' coolest. They really are.
I think we're more humble. Mm-hmm. I think so when you're answering that question, they thought, I'm not going to be a douchebag here.
Well, Midwesterners, I think, are more apt to actually be themselves, for Christ's sake, as opposed to being a phony, portraying yourself to be somebody else. That's a big thing, I think, in the big cities.
Yeah, for sure.
New York, LA, they're all trying to be something they're not.
Well, and
that's why they think they're cool.
Yes, that's why they think they're cool.
Their personality is, "I'm from New York, I'm from Los Angeles."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We've experienced that for sure.
I'm
and
so
obviously
much
that's
better than you guys.
That's a blanket statement. They're not all like that, but it seems to be prevalent, at least, enough that you notice.
Yeah, I wish we were more confident in ourselves, because Midwesterners are about the last folks on earth that I trust, and that list is dwindling.
I mean, I think that's cool in itself, right?
Yeah. Do you think you're cool?
Dumbass welder Jesus is cool with not being cool. You know what? The older you get, the more you're okay with that kind of.
That's why I'm kind of surprised it went up to 30, where you thought you were cool. I thought it would be like 25.
Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. Let me read this stat again to you, Wapo, and you can be more clear about it. 3/4 of Americans under 30 think they're cool. 2/3, it's still a pretty good number. 2/3 of people 30 to 45 think they're cool.
Yeah, I think it would be at 25 where you think you're cool. Like 30.
Being 30 makes you less cool.
But I totally knew I was not cool those last 5 years, coming up to 30 and 31.
You don't think you're cool.
Oh,
Ashley, do you think you're cool?
No, not at all.
Why don't you think you're cool?
I don't know. When I guess a good example is when my boyfriend makes fun of me for lame things, like being a nerd about rocks, or I don't know, just one of my weird little habits.
A nerd about rocks. Yeah, you're into, what's the term again?
Geology.
Geology.
Yes. I like agates, all that fun stuff. But if I like
Allagaggets.
if I geek out over something like scientific, he's always like calling me a nerd, and I always have to defend myself. Like, no, I'm cool. I like to I don't play video games. Like, that makes me cool.
Yeah, it does make you sound cool when you're defending your coolness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Totally
agree. That's how I know I'm not cool.
Dana, do you think you're cool?
No,
Because you're not.
really. No,
You're not.
I'm cool in my own way.
No, you're not.
But I'm cool. So I think I'm around. It's funny you mentioned the age 25, because 25 is when I stopped trying to be cool, stopped trying to do the cool things, and just let myself be my own weird self. And I feel like myself personally, I feel cooler now than I'm no longer trying to be like the guy that was wearing polo shirts and trying to be,
puka shell necklaces.
Trying to do the things that the cool guys did. I completely abandoned that, and I said, yeah, you know what? I like wearing jerseys. I like old school video games. I like the dorky stuff, and I'm just going to embrace it.
I felt like it cost a lot of money back in the day to be cool. Like, you had to buy, like, Abercrombie or Hollister. God, those shirts were like $55
So
for
expensive
one.
and so not worth it.
Sometimes, though, Dana, you do, like, we'll say something, we'll throw something out, like, incredible, right? Like, hey, have you ever had, like, a foursome and then base jumped off the Eiffel Tower and then did whippets on a motorcycle? And you'll be like, yep, I've done that. We'll throw out some crazy things. Nick, I know you've noticed that too. I don't know if there's been something that's insane that you've said you haven't done.
Yeah, have you done insane things?
I've done some, I guess, a little bit here and there.
Did you ever do an orgy and then base jump off the Eiffel Tower and then do whippets on the back of a motorcycle?
And then fall on another guy's penis?
I was actually doing the whippets while hang gliding, actually, Josh.
While hang gliding?
Yeah, I was hang gliding.
So you base jumped onto a hang glider? That's incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy Tuesday that happened.
Another reason I know I'm not cool is my niece doesn't find me cool anymore. She's like 10, 11, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but...
Well, you're old to her.
Yeah, I used... But like maybe even 2 years ago, it was completely different. Like, she was always like hugging me, climbing on me, and now she's got a phone, she has Snapchat, she could text her friends. I'm no longer cool.
You're no longer the cool fun aunt.
Nope.
Actually,
It hurts.
You realize that no one on planet Earth is cool in the eyes of an adolescent girl.
That's true.
No.
But we were buddies.
Everyone
bounce back.
Everyone falls off
so.
that list. I think, I don't know, teenage boys, teenage girls, they're all the same way. Suddenly, the only cool things on planet Earth are what's going on in their immediate world. Everything else is an inconvenience. It's boring. It's stupid. Oh, God. I mean, so don't feel bad about that, for God's sake.
You know what? It's weird. So our older two kids, they're in their 20s now, but when they were younger, they never were embarrassed of us volunteering at the school or going on, a field trip or whatever it was. They just never were. And I'm not saying this means we're cool. It was just kind of strange to me because I remember my parents, I'd be like, he dropped me off like a block away. You just wanted to act as if you didn't have parents, even though everyone knew you had parents. Yeah. But no, I'm in 6th grade. I'm on my own. I'm doing my own thing.
Every single friggin' kid has that little phase in life.
But our youngest does not like to be anywhere near us when there's his classmates around. Not at all. I mean, he is mortified. He won't let us volunteer for anything. And part of it with his mom is he's like, I don't want to deal with the barrage. He doesn't know that word. He's kind of dumb. I don't want to deal with the barrage of mom jokes, right? I guess when a mom shows up, everybody's talking about banging their mom and stuff like that. He doesn't want to do that. With me, he just doesn't want me there. That's all that is.
You're just not cool enough.
Oh, God, no. More anxiety than Hair Jesus wants to know if this makes him cool. He just made a Facebook post for his cat's birthday. Where are we at?
Yeah, that's adorable.
That's cool. I feel like being cool, if you have to think about if you're cool, you're not cool.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Although I think there are
It never enters my mind, Wapple, and I'm about the coolest sumbitch you've ever seen.
If you're cool, you're not cool.
Right. I'll go along with it. Got a couple of text messages. Eastbound at Sundown Jesus said he always thought that his cousin Ted was cool. That's because when we were kids, he wrote his name on the name tag of his bowling ball bag. Okay?
Yeah.
His cousin Ted. wrote his name on the name tag of his bowling ball bag, and it said, Ted, the coolest.
Yeah, my cousin Ian, I always thought was cool. My Uncle Bill, I always thought was cool. You know, he raced motorcycles, had a leather jacket.
Oh, you've talked about him, yeah.
He had a tarantula. Mm-hmm. He had the, what was the Atari? He had an Atari.
Wow.
One of my weed dealers, he had a crotch rocket. He would roll up to where we were buying weed, and God, he had that leather jacket. He had the sunglasses. That was cool.
One of my weed dealers.
Cool.
Dumbass welder Jesus said, I'm cool. We like to talk about kitties at work. They talk about kitties.
Mm-hmm. Like kittens?
I guess.
I could get involved.
Yeah.
Crazy fish guy, Jesus. He says that people think his exotic fish are cool.
That is pretty sweet.
I used to want exotic.
My weed dealer had exotic fish.
Your weed dealer sounds awesome.
If you could imagine.
Is this the same
Yeah.
guy? That's cool.
When does this
the same guy?
When does this guy get out of jail? I would like to meet him one day.
Tell us about the exotic fish, crazy fish guy, Jesus. Sadly, when I was living up at St. Cloud, one of my buddies, I guess in a desperate need for attention, you know, so when people walked into our house, they would think this is not the ordinary house. For whatever attention-seeking reason, he went and bought a piranha and put it in a tank, and it was one of the first things that you saw when you walked in the house. I thought it was a really stupid and annoying and obvious move, but yet he played that card. And then the piranha, you guys aren't going to believe this. This is so funny. The piranha's name was Penis. I mean,
oh my gosh,
it was
hilarious.
just a riot, just an absolute riot. I couldn't get enough. Whenever nobody was looking, I wanted to pour bleach in that tank to kill Penis, the piranha fish.
No.
Just so no one, so I didn't want to be associated with that stupid move.
I get it.
But I never hurt the fish. Don't panic and call PETA.
So the first time you heard the name Penis for the fish, you didn't laugh?
I hated it.
Oh.
I hated it.
Yeah, me too. Teacher Jesus said, okay, I'll say it. When that survey was taken, only the cool kids filled it out. That's why I never received it. Just went to the cool kids.
Well, there you go. Yes, Cody.
I get excited to go to like, big box stores. I mean, shoot, I'm wearing my Fleet Farm shirt right now, thanks to Wapple. That kind of stuff makes me excited.
Yeah, you're
not doing anything makes me excited.
Yes,
love
that. That is a good feeling.
I'm horny for not having anything to do.
Yup.
and I think you love canceling plans.
No, I actually don't cancel plans. I don't know why I get that reputation.
You like when other people cancel them.
I just don't like doing things. I'm not disrespectful. I'm not going to cancel anything. If I usually what the difference would be, I just won't agree to it if I know I'm not going to want to do it.
Mm-hmm. But what Ashley said, I bet you get horny if someone else cancels the plans.
Everybody does.
I don't want to
love
do that,
that.
but now you're canceling.
Everybody does. We got texts coming in. People are saying, I agree with this. Ashley, you are not cool because you live in Coon Rapids.
When did you move?
September.
Yeah, so you were cool in August.
Damn.
I support that text. Others are texting in saying that they spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. That's the classic line from Carlito Cool, former WWE superstar.
That is cool.
Hey, Ashley.
Yeah.
Randy Marsh is a geologist, and he's pretty cool.
That's true.
He's my favorite character on South Park.
And he knows how to legitimately play Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas on a real guitar.
That scene was so good.
God.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
I rose above the noise and confusion.
What are you doing? Well, I could actually play this song on guitar.
Yeah, the kids weren't impressed. They were all into Guitar Hero.
Oh, God, that was such a funny episode.
That was awesome.
Oh, the mounds of coke.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels Jesus thinks the coolest person on earth has got to be, he didn't say Davy Jones or Cal Portner or the Honky Tonk Man or former North Star Bobby Smith. Hot Wheels Jesus thinks the coolest person on planet Earth is Sam Elliott.
Oh yeah, he's
pretty
definitely cool.
I've heard that.
Cool.
Yes.
I've heard that be a thing lately. Where everyone's claiming that Sam Elliott is the coolest man to ever live.
Clint Eastwood,
Mr. T.
Oh yeah, Mr. T.
Mr. T's a
Harrison
great answer.
Ford.
I don't like Harrison Ford. I don't think there's anything cool about him.
There's nothing cool about him whatsoever.
All right, maybe there's a couple things. I just don't think. I mean, he's all right. I think Harrison Ford is wildly overrated, but I'm not looking to start trouble. Not today.
Yeah, I don't say that about Indiana Jones or Han Solo.
No.
His new show, Shrinking, is very funny.
It's very good.
On Apple TV Plus.
I hope that comes back soon.
Me too.
I hope it doesn't.
Wow. Cool guy take right there, Wobble. Going against the grain.
That was badass. I love that show, but now I hope it doesn't, just so you're right.
Just so I'm right.
I'm going to pretend to hate it now just so Wobble thinks I'm cool.
Yeah.
Oh, dry-aged ribeye Jesus says, well, how about Nick?
What?
From Family Ties. He's cool.
Nick from Family Ties?
From Family Ties.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he was funny. And he had the hottest gal in town. By far, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Mallory Keaton?
Man, she's something else.
What about JJ?
Wapple, what's his name over here? Josh already mentioned that.
I did mention that, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that a long time ago.
My bad.
Now I hope your favorite show's canceled.
Dynamite.
Here's the deal. It's Tuesday morning. Be cool, everybody. Our listeners are very cool.
Heck yeah.
Our listeners are very cool.
No doubt.
We appreciate you dialing in. We're going to get things kicked in the ass for real here in just a couple of minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Let's get into season 4, episode 3, Facade. People get picked on. I got picked on. But Scabby, the whole school. Yeah, just hurt me. I felt like it wasn't real.
If I may, I want to defend the storytellers. The people who created the show wanted you to feel like these people were the worst people ever.
They pretty much said the whole school of Smallville High are bad people.
Jump in now or catch up on any of the past seasons of Talkville on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
God, is everything all right?
He gets attacked sometimes.
Sounds like it.
But you know what he does? He's a considerate person. You guys could pick up a thing or two from him. He'll warn me when something's about to happen. I'd say 10 minutes ago, he warned me there's going to be a sneeze that might knock me right out of my chair. He'll let me know.
I got one cooking. Sorry about that. I didn't know my mic was on. I was clearing my throat before we went live. It's a little rough over here at times. But yeah, when that sneeze finally comes, Josh, you better hold on to something.
Yeah, I appreciate the heads up.
Here's the deal. Stupid news coming up here in just a minute. But first, we were discussing a survey earlier. A survey. And the question that folks were asked in the survey, are you cool or are you not cool? That's what we were talking about a few minutes ago. We're all cool in our own way, me being the coolest, of course. Got a couple of text messages here. Text message from a listener. He says, Nick, I always thought my Uncle Bert was the coolest, and I wish I could give this listener credit. I don't think I have a name connected to the text. I always thought my Uncle Bert was the coolest. He and his little gang of friends used to raise hell in the little northern town we lived in. One day, my mom and I were broke down on the side of the road, and a state trooper drove by, and in the back seat was my Uncle Bert. I knew right then and there I wanted to be a rule breaker just like him. He's much older and wiser now. He's 62, but he just had a heart transplant, and he's still the coolest person I know. What a great text message.
Oh, he's had a heart transplant? That's cool.
That reminds me of a story about one of my best buddies. When we were young, he was, for a stretch of time, he was by far the wildest of all of us. Getting in trouble for every damn thing. And this is a true story. One day, we were probably 16 or 17. His parents were driving in town, and they passed by a scene where a real derelict-looking sumbitch was getting cuffed and stuffed into the back of a cop car. And his mother says, "Look at that. What a lowlife. Just looking at that kid, I'm sure there's good reason why he's being arrested. What a disgusting-looking kid. Oh, God." And his father says, "Honey, that's our son." And Mom said, "What?" She didn't even recognize him. Hair flying all over the place, stupid leather, trench coat looking douchebag. She didn't recognize him as being. All right, on the topic of being cool again, Josh, got this text from Offended Millennial Jesus asking you and I, do you consider your dads to have been cool? Offended Millennial Jesus says he considered his dad to be one cool dude.
I did. Because my dad was just a stoic guy, and as a kid, I always, because of his temper and how enraged he'd get so easy, I thought that'd be protection, right? Like, he's not going to let anybody mess with us. He's a tough dude. So I would say my dad was cool for sure.
Hell yeah, my dad was cool. God rest his soul. My dad was a hired farmhand at 12 years old. He broke horses.
That is pretty sweet.
His own brother shot him and he survived.
That's awesome.
He got crazy ass in high school. He had a terrible looking tattoo on one of his shoulders. He survived drowning while wearing cowboy boots.
All right, that's not cool. That's badass.
Yeah,
he once stole a taxi cab and put a horse in the back seat. He was an over-the-road truck driver for 40 years with 0 accidents. He was a double amputee Vietnam veteran. Hell yeah, my dad was cool. He used to hang out with Dave Sabo from Skid Row.
Dave Sabo wanted him to be his driver.
Their personal driver.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm glad I went first with that question.
Yeah, definitely.
You wrote down a whole list. That's not fair. That is not fair. You wrote down an entire list.
I had time to think about what.
Yeah.
You gave me a heads up for a sneeze, but not something like that. I couldn't come up with stories. I didn't know we were going to go on and on.
At one point, I was going to chime in and be like, "Yeah, my dad is probably the coolest person I know." But then I heard you just kept going. I was like, "Oh, maybe not."
I feel like
the guy just died. Sorry, I blew up.
I just feel like dads aren't cool. Like,
really? My dad's so cool.
My dad is not cool. But I bet he was.
That didn't sound very convincing, Wapple.
That didn't sound very convincing.
Wapple, guess whose fault?
Dad.
Guess whose fault is that?
Dad, why are you not cool?
Because you little bastards came along. That's why he's not cool anymore.
That's actually
he got one look at you and gave up.
You brought his cool days to a close.
He's like, "You're going to be in the Doink Gang, aren't you?"
He was cool before you little bastards came along. All right. We'll go headlong into the stupid news now. With the way my stomach operates some days, I bet if I ever decided to up and burglarize somebody's house, a code brown would probably interrupt my getaway. Cops in Colorado released a video to stupid social media where they found a home burglary suspect on the toilet. And it's a lot of laughs. Officers from a small town, well, I guess I can't say that it's small. I made that up on my own. Officers from a town called Lakewood, Colorado, got a heads up that something was going on when somebody's home security alarm went off in the middle of the night, that kind of a thing. So they headed in that direction. When the cops got to the house, they say here that they fired up a drone and this and that. I'm not sure why they needed a drone, but
they do that. That's not uncommon anymore.
I feel like they just send up drones to send up drones.
Well, it keeps the cops safe. At least that's the idea. It doesn't always work, unfortunately.
Explain this to me. So they'll park maybe a couple blocks short of where they've been called to. They'll send a drone over there to take a look first.
I'm not sure how far away they park, but they'll use, like a buddy of mine, he's a drone operator for a police department. And so, like, they'll try and look in the windows, or if a window's open, go in there with a camera and just see what they're looking at. Like, if there's a guy barricaded somewhere.
Really?
That's so sweet. Have you ever seen him, like, fly a drone before?
No, I have not.
Oh, I bet he's got skill.
Maybe he's terrible.
I've seen him chase a chicken around his backyard, but never seen him operate a drone.
Do you think
so? When he was chasing a chicken, he was on. I thought he didn't chase the chicken with the drone.
Did I say chase? Choke. I'm sorry. He was choking a chicken in his backyard.
I've never heard of that before. Send in a drone ahead of the cops to
maybe
see
some
what
cops can text us in and see how they use it. You know, obviously, if you're over some terrain, it can help them find people.
I wonder if they use them on stakeouts now.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you don't have to sit in a shady building.
Yeah, that'd be perfect on a stakeout because it won't arise any attention. Nobody's gonna.
What is that buzzing? Looks like a drone.
This burglary in Colorado. So
Lakewood looks pretty bustling, by the way.
Lakewood, Colorado looks what?
Bustling.
Like a lot going on?
Yeah.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
155,000 people.
Well, that is a lot.
What caused you to bring that into the conversation?
Wikipedia.
Yeah. You were like,
it's an American town.
When I mistakenly called it a small town.
Yeah.
You decided to get an answer. I'm sorry. Sure. Yeah, no, that's good research.
It's going to be a high of 47 in Lakewood today, as long as we're all Googling Lakewood, Colorado. All
right. Takes 2 hours, 10 minutes to get there by plane.
From here?
Yep.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So when the cops got involved here.
Thursday rain.
You can see this. Thursday rain. Thursday rain.
Yeah, don't go to Lakewood, Colorado on Thursday.
Can we do the stupid news, Wapple?
I guess.
What's the average house go for? Like, actually, you know what? I don't want to know.
Do you guys want a latitude and longitude location?
That would mean nothing to me.
So it's pretty obvious to me that you showed up high. Did you show up high?
No.
I did wonder. You looked high earlier, or like you were dying. I don't know. I've never seen you high.
Before the show, Josh said he's pretty sure you were asleep, and now it's like someone put a quarter in your back. Are you all right?
Yeah.
You're not high.
Look at those mountain ranges.
He's high.
Yeah. Have you ever really looked at your hand?
Be careful how high you get, Wapple.
Local 34 Jesus wants to know: are you maybe cold meds? Are you high on some cold meds? Did you take any medication?
I did take some Dayquil.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Like half the bottle.
You're going to show up wasted, right? Whether it be on cold medicine or on marijuana cigarettes. And then the boss is going to call you into the office, and he's going to say, you know, you really shine today.
Boy, you're not kidding.
And he's going to give you the first compliment he's ever given you, and you're going to think, you know, you couldn't have said something like this when I wasn't high or wasted on cold medicine. You see what I'm saying? That happened to me.
On the flip side, when you have a good day and the boss calls you in, or I'm sorry, a bad day, and the boss calls you in and said, maybe you should have a couple of bumps before the show. Maybe it'll help you out.
Right.
Loosen you guys up. That's another conversation we had with a boss.
Really?
Lakewood is just outside of Denver, by the way.
What's outside of Denver?
Lakewood.
Oh.
Are you running for mayor?
Maybe.
At this point.
I kind of love Lakewood.
I guess so.
Years ago, I got as drunk as I've ever been in my entire life here at work. And I was an animal, absolute animal on the air. True story, my mother tuned into the show that day, and when she heard how drunk I was, she pulled over and started to cry.
Oh, that would so be my mom.
I was so out of control. The next day, the boss pulls me into his office and says, you really shined yesterday. That was great. And I said to myself, to him, I said, well, thanks, and left. I was still fairly new to the operation. But I said to myself, guy couldn't compliment me any other day?
Yeah.
So be careful, Wapple. You're high on something.
You want to know what's very close to Lakewood?
I kind of do, yeah.
Josh, maybe after the show we could talk to Wapple about when a bit has run its course. I mean, I see where you're going with this, but sometimes a bit runs its course. But go ahead, give us hopefully your final fact on Lakewood, Colorado.
Red Rocks.
Oh,
Red
you
Rocks.
really want to go there, huh?
I do.
The concert venue set up there? Sure.
I wish I could have gone to Stevie Nicks there. It's magical.
He's at the point, Nick, where Family Guy gets this way, right? Where there's a bit that keeps going and going and going.
Right.
But then it goes further and it comes back and it becomes hilarious again. So
I hope we get there.
Yeah. You're saying we're not there yet?
No, we haven't. At this point, it's getting kind of boring, but I mean, maybe it will get there. So, is it okay now if I continue on with this stupid news story that I started like 7.5 minutes ago?
I guess.
Cops go to this joint in I don't recall what we were talking about.
Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah, was it the dude on the toilet? So you don't even know that.
Yeah, caught in the toilet.
Cops busted a burglary suspect sitting on the toilet on their body cam footage. The video shows the heavily armed cops, by the way. God, they were wearing everything, weren't they, Josh?
Yeah, they were ready to go.
They got up into the house, they busted open a bathroom door, and there was the burglar sitting on his ass on the toilet trying to bust out a turd.
Please, show me your hands. Hands up. Stand up. Stand up.
We didn't have to bleep that because that was a funny line.
Yes, it was. He puts his hands up, and I know it's, we had to bleep it, and it's not the loudest audio ever, but the suspect very calmly said, quote, I'm on the, there's no way to say it. I'm on the crapper, bud, is what he said. I'm on the crapper, bud. I barely made it, he says.
I had to go.
Then he stands up. His hands are still up in the air. Pants are still down around his ankles. And he followed the cop's orders to surrender. His D kind of jumped out from under his T-shirt there for a minute when he stood up off the throne. So if you're going to watch the video, look out for some
That'd be embarrassing,
penis.
Man.
Oh, it's terrible.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Because they can't let you really just sit there and finish it. Well, maybe somebody's got to watch them finish up. I don't know. I was thinking about what the process is.
Do they let them wipe?
I mean, I'd hope so because they don't want to have to like smell that or deal with that, right?
Well, I think the smell's too late.
Hurry up and wipe, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like they can give him some privacy to finish what he's doing because you don't know what he's going to fish out from where.
Right.
But
I don't know if they let him wipe. I'm going to go ahead and say, here's more questions for cops who might be listening. Do you let a pimp wipe? I'm going to say they don't.
Yeah, I bet they just drag him off that can.
You don't take any chances? Mm-hmm. You don't let him wipe.
Can you look up poop policy in Lakewood, Colorado? While you're at it?
The dumbass crook goes by the name of Tommy Lucero. He's in big trouble. Word is, did I get this right, Josh? Word is, Tommy, he ate some ramen noodles and hot chocolate during his break-in. So I guess he found out that's not the best combo.
No, definitely not.
His stomach turned sideways on him when he had the ramen and hot chocolate combination.
Yum. Oh.
The cops, they felt the need to get cute when they posted this video up onto Facebook. They posted, while we see a lot of things in the line of duty, D-O-O-D-Y, we had no clue what awaited us this time. There he is. Caught the crook on the crapper.
Dr. Death Steve Williams, pro wrestler, was from Lakewood, Colorado.
We were just talking about him a week or so ago.
Do you know who else is? Chris Broderick of Megadeth, or formerly of Megadeth, I should say.
No way.
I saw him in concert a couple of times. That dude,
he can do it.
He could play the guitar. All right, if you're one of those TMZ type people who's fascinated by every little move that famous or sometimes even only sort of famous people make in their lives, well, then this should have you texting all your friends immediately. If you love the famous people, you'll be OMGing and emojiing your nuts off in no time. A gal called Aliyah Baldwin Aronow. See if you can follow this. The sister of Hailey Bieber and daughter of Stephen Baldwin. The sister-in-law of Justin Bieber. Do you have that all straightened out?
Yep. She's famous adjacent.
Right. Aliyah Baldwin Aronow. Justin Bieber's, how do you call it? I just said it, a sister-in-law. She was charged with simple assault and simple battery after an alleged bar fight in a town. I'm not going to tell you the town because Wapple will look it up. It was a town. It was not this town. It was some other town.
Boy, I wish I knew.
Yeah, you're not going to find out. Not from me, you won't.
Machen.
The cops, they said that Oronow, who is, of course, a model and an influencer.
That rare combo.
She was taken into custody at a house following a physical confrontation at a bar called... I'm not even going to tell you the bar.
Because he'll look it up.
Pardon me?
Yes, Wap will look it up.
You want to know what I love about Savannah, Georgia?
Oh, no! He figured it out.
He cracked the code.
Go ahead.
It's only 3 hours away by plane. It's going to rain there today.
Ah, geez, it's raining everywhere.
Bummer.
Very dreary day.
So the gal got arrested at a house after having a physical altercation at a bar. They have security footage of this incident as well from the bar. Oronow is forcing her way into an employee bathroom. 2 bouncers and a bartender say they told Oronow she wasn't allowed in there and needed to use the public restroom. And that's when, I'm guessing because of one health isn't a word, I'm guessing because of 1/2 alcohol intake and 1/2 entitlement, she became combative. They told her you can't use the employee bathroom, you have to use the public bathroom. She went nuts. One bouncer told the local cops that Oronow yanked on his hairdo.
Owie.
She pulled his hair. The other bouncer claimed that Oronow kicked him in the ding-ding. Now, I don't know if this was before or after the gal went mental or what the timeline was here, but the cops talked to a bartender at the club. The bartender says that Oronow had told her that she needed to use the bathroom to throw up and to change her tampons. And the bartender said, okay, fine, go ahead with that. A few minutes later, the bartender checked on Little Miss Special here, and Oronow allegedly threw a tampon at the bartender.
Heck no.
And that's when they threw her out on her ass.
I'm hoping unused.
They didn't tell me one way or the other, Smash.
Oh.
That does make a difference.
Huge difference.
I'm guessing it was used if it was brought up in the story.
Yep.
I'm
and it's
guessing
it would be hard to throw one that wasn't used. It wouldn't go very far.
Oh, yeah?
They're not very heavy.
I bet you I could win the unused tampon throwing distance competition.
We'll try it out.
I got a hell of an arm. I got a hell of an arm. Now,
aside from the tampon part, it seems, well, maybe even with the tampon part, it seems very Jackson Mahomes-ish, doesn't it?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, Brittany Mahomes, too.
I think Justin Bieber, needs to sit this little idiot down and tell her to cool it. And I could see him saying, Josh, I could see Justin Bieber saying, who am I, Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Everybody in my family has to act like a jagoff? So anyway, because influencer people don't think they should ever be treated like regular citizens, it says here, Oronow, again, the sister-in-law of Justin Bieber, the daughter of Stephen Baldwin, she called the cops because everyone was being so mean to her. When the cops got there, she denied tossing a tampon at the bartender. And then she admitted to tossing a tampon at the bartender. She said she was acting in self-defense. They were attacking me. You don't know who you're dealing with? She's been charged with this and that, and who effing cares?
Yeah, I don't know how you get that entitled. You know, why does Patrick Mahomes seem like such a nice guy, but those in his orbit do not?
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Because you're right, he does seem like I'm sick of hearing about the guy all the time, but he does seem like a regular, just kind of cool dude. But his people around him, oof.
It's big.
Yeah, he would be cool, but he's not cool because of the people he hangs out with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger when it's warm out, Jesus. That they actually have, according to him, a used and unused tampon throwing contest. in Lakewood, Colorado.
That's where I got to go for that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Every 4th of July.
And it's bigger when it's warm out. Jesus has never sent us in the wrong direction.
Oh, sure. No, he never has. All right. This here next story is out of this effing world insane. Josh and I had to have a conversation on the telephone last night to make sure we were understanding what it is the story was telling us. And unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think we've ever talked about something like this here before. It's very exciting. So it has to do with another dude mangling his own penis. And we've covered a lot of that material over the years. We've covered inches and inches of penis mangling stories over the years. I like to believe that nobody covers that type of material better than we do. Normally, if that's even a word that should apply when having these conversations, normally when we get a story of penile self-mutilation, it has to do with some sad bastard. It's like scoping his own urethra with a roll of coins or some high-definition cable or a paintbrush or something, right?
Yep.
It's usually an urethra scoping that goes to hell. You know, these fellas, they attack their own urethra for the term they always use in the story is sexual gratification. But this time, it's different. What it sounds like here, and again, Josh and I, we had to have a conversation off air. We think we've got an idea. A dude over there in Indonesia, wherever that is, he has cut the skin on his penis. Years ago, he started doing this. And then he slides different objects up under the skin, and then he bangs away on the hot mamas in town, I guess because in his warped mind, it increases the pleasure for the ladies.
Makes it more rigid, is what he thinks.
I just can't believe that this is true. What do you mean? You got an open wound that you can slide things? I don't understand.
Yeah, it seems like a piercing, right? Where eventually it would heal and you have your own kangaroo pouch there.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
Where you can put something like a tongue depressor or whatever you want down there.
Oh, gosh.
This is totally... I don't understand how this is possible, but I'm going to keep going anyway. He has an open incision on his pecker somewheres, and he tosses different objects up there, and then he pumps away like it's prom night. This effing psycho approach to getting it on has finally come back to bite this guy badly. The story says that he fired a toothbrush up into his open wound pecker pocket. And while he was folding one of his ladies in half, the toothbrush broke. And by association, the poor his pecker broke. They say here that he was in agony. He's a 43-year-old guy. He's not been named, and I'm sure he's cool with that. He was bumping gear with a woman on top skis, and the toothbrush gave way on him. So, also what comes to mind. I wonder what the woman thought of this dude's gimmick, if it was her first time dangling with him. I mean, she might say, let me get this straight. You're going to insert a toothbrush up under the skin of your damn Johnson, and then I'm going to get up on top of you? Do I look like I got teeth down there? You know what I mean?
I've heard of the movie.
I love that movie.
Oh, you do? There's no way I could watch that.
I love showing it to people for the first time. It brings me so much joy.
Actually, I liked it too.
Did you really? You liked it?
Yeah.
Like not in a sarcastic way?
No,
or?
because it's purposefully disgusting and dark and awful.
Yeah.
I know, there's a few things I've heard. I don't think I could watch it for that reason.
It wasn't a mistake that movie came off awful and dark and depressing. They did that on purpose, and they did a great job.
The dog.
I don't remember the dog.
I would think this guy here should use like an electric toothbrush, right? Why not go for it? Give her a little something extra.
Oh, that's smart.
Wouldn't you request that, Ashley?
Yeah, if you're going to put a toothbrush there, at least make it electric.
So the dude told doctors he's been tossing things up under his penis skin through a, quote, small incision since back in the year of 2017. I just got a text from somebody that says maybe this guy has ED issues. There's nothing in the story that indicates it. Just sounds like a kink for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was to make it more rigid. So sure, maybe that could be the case, but I think he was just interested in that no matter what.
Yeah. What do I have here? He waited 12 hours before he went to the doctor. By the time he checked into the hospital, his acorn was a total mess. It had turned purple, it was sideways, it was all bloated up. He broke the damn thing. Doctors had to suit up for a 2-hour operation to repair his broken penis and get that toothbrush out of there. The story goes into what a penile fracture is and what positions are most risky. We don't need to get into that. We've covered that hundreds of times. The doctors discharged, maybe that's not the right word in this exact situation because that's kind of gross, but I didn't mean anything by it. The doctors discharged the guy 3 days after surgery. He's got no issues.
That's surprising.
Here's the story on what this dude has been doing to his wang. It's apparently called genital beading, beading, and it's common in certain parts of the world, like they say here in Asia. A doctor said men inject silicone.
Oh.
They insert horsehair.
Why?
This is all new to me, Ashley. I don't know. Cutting yourself on your pecker and sliding things, I don't know anything about. They put rocks in there and beads. They say it's just a ploy to increase men's self-esteem. It serves no actual function. I'm going to go ahead and admit that I do not have the courage to cut a little sleeping bag into my dong in order to feed household objects into before I go ahead and have sex. I will not take part in all of this. In any of it.
Hurt too in the beginning. Now,
in the beginning, the middle, the end, you got an open wound
it would
on
hurt
your
for a
dog.
while.
Constantly.
I feel like at this point it didn't hurt because he just kept sliding more and more objects in.
And it's possible, yeah, because I'm picturing like gauges and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
What if he gets something in there, though? Right? Just in the normal course of living life.
Oh,
like imagine you got a clean lint out of that thing or something.
That's making me cringe.
You know, Cheetos or a cigarette butt or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, just got $2 and a cigarette butt down here.
Hey, I gotta ash my penis here real quick.
When you're smoking cigarettes, I saw my dad do this over and over again. You know, he'd drop it into his lap, right?
Yep.
Don't let a cigarette butt get into that wound.
Maybe that's how it started. That's how the hole began.
Texts like this make my day. Dude, breakfast. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
We're running short on time, and we've got some great stupid news stories here. Are we in a panic here, Josh?
We're getting up on it.
Well, what I mean by that is, are we going to? Am I going to be ruining our plans if we have to sit on a couple of these until tomorrow?
Oh, I think we're good.
Okay.
I mean, they tie in nicely with this one, but yeah, these ones will be good.
How about then?
Lakewood facts.
I'll close out with the boobs, the iron boobs. The fake boobs, the statue boobs. Does that work?
Yeah. I didn't know you were specifically talking to me.
The city council in Dublin, Ireland, they're having some problems. Folks in town won't stop with the fondling of a statue. We've heard a story or two like this before. It's a European thing, right? I mean, we're not walking up on the Kirby Puckett statue and grabbing his nuts, are we?
No, it's happening here too.
Yeah,
I told you about, I visited the Capitol once with a buddy who was helping renovate it, and he showed me a statue of an early settler who one of her boobs is basically it's different. It looks different on the exterior because
discolored.
So many not discolored, but just like taken off some of the whatever they make that out of.
Okay.
Yeah, it becomes like oddly shinier. I noticed that when I went to Washington D.C. There was like almost every statue. It's like a hot spot.
Almost every statue.
Yeah.
And it's her left breast.
So
because it's right next to an area you can grab it easy.
We do this in America too. We grab the private parts of statues.
Can't help yourself, I guess.
Have you ever seen the pictures on the internet of people doing terrible things to Ronald McDonald?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
It's disturbing.
I suppose.
creepy
I
anyway.
didn't consider Ron. Okay, so in Dublin, they're trying to protect a statue that they've got there of a gal named Molly Malone. Folks can't help but walk up and grab her boobs. So much so that her cans have become discolored. Now, I'm not making excuses for this awful behavior, but there are two things that need to be mentioned here. Number one is that she's not a living thing, and number two, her old Irish cans are pouring out of her top. Absolutely pouring out of... And again, I ain't saying it's right, I'm just saying. Says here now that the statue of Molly Malone represents a fictional street merchant who died of fever. That sounds very Irish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does.
They don't really talk about the good times. They only talk about the bad times. I know this. I'm Irish. We thrive on misery. You know, so that only makes sense that a famous statue represents a street merchant who died of fever. And folks apparently rub her big old jugs for good luck. There's now some kind of a campaign going on in Dublin to stop the, quote, disrespectful and misogynistic behavior of grabbing this statue's boobs. The campaign has a cute name. It's called Leave Molly Malone. You following that?
Yeah.
Are you able to understand?
This statue's hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's very, very attractive.
Oh, man, I've seen hot statues, hot mannequins.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Good morning to you, Courtney. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you very much. We were able to play some of the sound from Caleb Williams in his press conference at Indianapolis. What did you glean from the conversation?
I mean, he's incredibly confident, right? You guys took that as much as we did? All right. Yes.
All right. We'll put it on hold, and we'll get back to Courtney in a moment.
Oopsies.
I mean, for God's sake, if every time technical difficulties happened, we went on some kind of an F-word tangent, we would have been fired years ago.
Yeah, I feel the pain, though.
A gal calling into a radio show about some boring football subject, and they had technical difficulties, and she cussed and she hung up.
Yep, that's about it. You know, she's a broadcaster. I mean, she's got to be used to that kind of thing. And you know, it's annoying when you can hear yourself back delayed. And we've been there before.
Yeah,
it's very distracting.
It drives you nuts.
So annoying.
But you really do think you're going to lose your mind.
You got to fight through it.
And plus, I hate my voice. But so you like you said, you power through it. But then she just decides, as a broadcaster, knowing that she's on the air, she's just going to throw the F word out and.
Yeah, that's
gonna handle
that's
that.
pretty weak.
Not a good call.
It is.
Grow up, for Christ's sake. She probably gets paid millions of dollars to bore us with football information.
She's on ESPN. I bet she's making some dough.
For Christ's sake. Here's the deal. For once, I'm not upset at anybody for not watching the Timberwolves game last night. Because that was just... they won the ball game.
I mean, does reading about every game afterwards count? Or does that still make you mad?
It does not.
And then you watch some clips of the highlights.
You
only have so much time in the day.
Did you watch a couple of clips?
Yeah. Saw Anthony Edwards kind of sitting on the sideline.
You're getting there. Yeah, he did a lot of that. Aside from Rudy Gobert, they were just asleep last night. And I get it. It was, I don't know, their 5th game in 7 days. It was a back-to-back situation, but it was just... The guys looked cooked. They beat the Portland Trailblazers by a few points, so that's great. You don't want to be losing at home to Portland. Now they take off for a 6-game road trip. There's not a hell of a lot more that we can cover now. We got plenty of time with Randy Shaver. I can tell you the local Gals Pro Hockey Club gets the spotlight all to themselves tonight with a 7 o'clock home game over there at the X on Bally Sports North. They're playing Ottawa, don't you know?
Cool.
Randy Shaver will be here with us in a half hour. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
I'm very blown away right now, just knowing that somebody was in this park driving a car around trying to run over a child.
An Arizona mother is accused of attempted murder after police say she drove her pickup truck through a park and ran over a child on purpose.
What the hell?
30-year-old Brandy Gotch confronted a group of kids fighting with her children at a park last Tuesday. The enraged mother reportedly grabbed a 14-year-old boy by the hair, apparently jerking his head back and forth, and then chased another teen with a stick. Gotch was reportedly angered further when one of the teen boys in the group called her a bitch. Sorry about the word.
Is that right?
That's when the mother allegedly got behind the wheel. Brandy was then seen going back to her vehicle, which was now occupied by her 4 children, and then she aggressively backed her vehicle toward the exit, but changed her mind and drove forward at a high rate of speed toward the playground area where at least 15 juveniles were standing. Police say she then drove recklessly through the park while yelling, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to run you over." Luckily, she didn't accomplish the first part of her threat, but she did make true on the second. She struck a child with her car, running over her leg. Luckily, the kid's going to be okay. Then, in a feat of impressive personal responsibility, reasonable decision-making, and absolute bravery, she fled the scene. Police were able to identify Gotch as the genius behind the wheel and take her into custody.
She's a crazy lady.
I guess so.
She's one of these defend your children at all costs, even if you have no idea what's going on at all type people.
Yeah, and the kids even disputed her side of the story because the mom's like, hit a kid? Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Kids are like, well, yeah, you remember that. And she's also, they were concerned about the kids in her vehicle for how she was driving. She's like, it was cool, everybody's belted up. And the kids were like, no, we weren't. We were bouncing all over the place.
I'm glad they told the truth.
Yeah, I think they're sick of mom, too.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember running over a kid. Well, you know, I'm a forgetful person. I can relate to that.
Yeah, give her a little bit of grace. She was angry. A driver of a vehicle that crashed into a Stearns County home on Saturday was learning how to drive, police said, and it turns out she might need another lesson. The Stearns County Sheriff's Office were called shortly before 11 a.m. to a home where a car struck a parked vehicle and then crashed into the garage. The 56-year-old woman behind the wheel was learning to drive and had confused the pedals, causing her to crash. Thankfully, she wasn't hurt too bad, and a 51-year-old passenger was uninjured. The Sartell Fire Department supervised the removal of the car from the garage because they were worried about the structural integrity.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was the one dumb thing she did, and it just had those consequences.
There'll be a few people in town who don't let her forget that very easily.
Oh, you can't, right? Even though you might feel some sympathy, you can't let that go. When custodians at the City Hall in Annapolis, Maryland, reported to work the morning of February 22nd, they found a woman sleeping near a second-floor conference room covered in Hot Pocket grease and crumbs from the microwavable turnover's flaky crust. Maureen Donovan told police that after following a staff member through a scan access door, she ate some Hot Pockets from the employee break room and spent the night. When she was discovered the next day, she was found with the mayor's gavel in her hands. Now Donovan is charged with a couple of felonies. That case has caused some controversy in Annapolis as residents took to social media to criticize what they saw as an unjust and excessive series of punishments for that alleged crime. That does seem like a little much.
She fell asleep where?
She fell asleep at City Hall.
City Hall. Ate
I mean,
some
you
Hot
don't want
Pockets.
obviously people breaking into City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ate some Hot Pockets, fell asleep, was playing with the gavel.
And how bad do they want to? How
couple
bad?
felonies.
Felonies.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but it doesn't seem like she really did any. She didn't do any damage or anything.
That's what the community's saying.
I mean, except for the person who's like Hot Pockets. Those were.
Yeah, that's rough.
Maybe the authorities looked into her background and she's kind of a scary individual. You know what I'm saying?
It's possible. Yeah, they didn't publicize that in the story. Or maybe the gavel was up her butt. A man's facing an attempted grand theft auto charge after trying and failing to steal a self-driving taxi in downtown Los Angeles. The LAPD said 33-year-old Vincent Maurice Jones got into a fully autonomous Waymo car after it dropped off a passenger about 10:30 p.m. Saturday night. The suspect got into the driver's seat, but the alleged theft didn't go anywhere as he had no idea how to operate it. A Waymo representative was then able to speak to Jones remotely via the car's online communications system and told him to leave the vehicle, but he wouldn't, so that representative called police.
Yeah, how do you steal a driverless car?
I don't know. Maybe some of them you can operate it, but apparently he didn't even know how to get it and drive.
Hell, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to override the automatic system. That'd be tough.
A man who always wanted to be a pilot and whose parents said he was bored with life is accused of breaking into a Southwest Florida airport and trying to steal a plane last Monday.
What do you think? You're the only guy bored with life?
Yeah, well, I guess he's more bored than the rest of us. But he failed on his first attempt to get into a plane and immediately crashed on his second. 43-year-old Bruce Plummer faces several charges after he allegedly broke into 2 planes but could only get the second one to start. Officials later found the plane off the runway where it crashed into a fence. They found a gun and a tactical vest along the perimeter of the airport, and the firearm was registered to Plummer, which is how they found him. His parents say that what he's accused of doing last Monday morning was driven by alcohol. Deputies say he went to a gas station and bought 3 50-milliliter Fireball malts and a beef stick before the midnight incident.
Well, you got to have some base, right?
Yeah.
Don't they say you got to have some base? But how old of an individual was this?
Did I say how
his
old he
parents
was?
are
43.
Involved. What? His parents are still having to speak for him?
I think he lives with them.
Oh!
Yeah. Or they live with him. That's how I used to put it with my parents. An unusual series of thefts has hit a Las Vegas community. Thieves have been digging up cactuses and then loading them into getaway vehicles.
There was a female and a male taking those out, and I thought it was the workers. They were wearing vests and everything. It looks like they were here to do good, but they weren't.
What do you want to steal a cactus for, Cubby?
They're expensive. They say they stole about 100, which was worth $10,000.
I have no idea why somebody would pull a cacti out of the front of someone's house, but maybe they need it for their own house.
It was weird.
Oh, they're not pulling them out of the ground in the desert. They're pulling them. Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, neighborhood.
It's like a median. They'll pull them out of there.
Yeah, just it's like their decorations around the neighborhood.
That's crazy. I didn't know they were worth that much.
It was weird, explained a local homeowner.
Rose here noticed that we have a couple missing in front of our house. How strange is that? I don't know what's going on, but they're going missing.
Las Vegas isn't the only place where cactuses are being stolen. In Tucson, Arizona, the pricey plants with an estimated value of $7,500 were taken from a neighborhood last October, which I'd imagine would totally suck. You lint.
I love that guy's just laughing about it.
In related news, authorities in North Carolina have obtained arrest warrants for 2 people in a poaching case involving hundreds of Venus flytraps. They're stealing foliage everywhere.
Wow. I haven't heard of that in a long, long time, a Venus flytrap.
Totally succulent.
So are you telling me that if I walk out to the desert and yank a cactus up out of its roots, I could go somewhere and someone will hand me thousands of dollars?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if there's different values on those. Maybe the ones by the houses were extra nice, but $10,000 for 100 plants. Damn, dog, someone might say.
Damn.
Someone cooler might say.
Y'all.
A new owner found dozens of abandoned cats in a home in the North Metro last week.
We just took over a hoarder house, and there are about 25, 30 cats still in this place. Animal control was out earlier.
The foreclosed home contained about 40 cats, according to the Coon Rapids Police Department.
Because that's how you do it. When you ain't got a pot to piss in, you go and get as many animals as possible.
Or have as many kids as you can.
Yes.
Apparently, 5 of these cats needed medical attention due to a nasty fight with a cat that knew karate. Karate cat. Police are working with Animal Humane Society investigators and said criminal charges are possible.
Interesting.
Those poor little bastards.
Yeah, it sounds like some of them weren't treated very well at all.
40. Oh, I bet it smells bad.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
It's probably not very noticeable.
Oh, I bet it's terrible.
You have cats? I would have never guessed.
Not noticeable at all.
A state trooper answered the call on a rural Missouri highway last week to clear a massive bale of hay from the road. According to ag experts in the Show Me State, large round bales of hay can weigh anywhere from hundreds to thousands of pounds, and dashcam footage captured the mighty effort.
How much will you give me for a bale of hay and a cactus? Right now, dude. I'm on the run.
The department shared the video Wednesday along with the following statement: Trooper Isaiah doesn't miss leg day. The video, with millions of views and available on 93x.com, had people applauding the trooper's strength to be able to remove the large obstacle from the road single-handedly. It was a pretty cool video. And according to a recent survey, Trooper Isaiah may have looked more attractive than most while doing it, because Missouri finished in the top 10 of sexiest state police uniforms. Wealthofgeeks.com tracked the country's sexiest state police uniforms as voted by thousands of their readers. And the top 10 consisted of Texas, New Hampshire, Missouri, New Jersey, Arizona, Colorado, Washington, Florida, Hawaii, and Indiana. Number 1, Texas's uniforms were described as Lone Star style, with the surveyors saying it's the cowboy hat that truly sets this uniform apart, worn with the swagger of a rodeo champion. Minnesota finished in a disappointing 36th. Wisconsin a bit sexier, ranking 30th on the sexiest state police uniforms list. The least attractive uniform was said to belong to state police in, well, I'm sorry to say this, because they're our friends, but North Dakota. They were the least sexy.
So
that hurts.
I saw this trooper, I saw this story, and then a day later, he was helping a flipped over semi-truck. And he was helping, like, the person, the driver out of the cab of it. And they were like, dude, this guy's amazing.
Well, no,
he's just a straight badass.
But he didn't flip the semi over. That would have been impressive.
Yeah, that would have.
Because a lot of cops have done that. That's what they do. They help you out, but yes. So, I mean, you can't give them credit for that. Texas, by the way, is used as a slang term in Norway. They use Texas as a slang term to describe something unpredictable, chaotic, exhilarating, or scary. And according to Texas Monthly, Norwegians have used the state-inspired expression for several decades. It's meant to conjure the rough and tumble history of cowboys, lassos, and outlaws of Texas.
I'll be damned.
It's not news if someone gets kicked out of a comedy show for being belligerent and drunk, but when it's a famous comedian and he's kicked off the stage of his own show, that's a different story. Popular comedian and actor Nick Swardson got the hook at his own stand-up comedy show over the weekend after he appeared to be extra hammered and started getting into it with the crowd. Many of them were not amused, and they made it known, too. Swardson was filmed Sunday shouting at and arguing with the audience in Beaver Creek, Colorado, where he was hired as the headliner. Some attendees expressed their discomfort over his unruly display. He was eventually guided off the stage after the spotlight was turned off, and then they eventually cut his mic.
Let's go! Refund! What the f***? Let's go! Who here knows who Norm Macdonald is? Let's go!
Yeah. And turned off the spotlight.
Dude, they turned off the spotlight.
This is wild. Now they turned off his mic.
Shortly after Swardson's dramatic exit, the director of operations made his way on stage and informed the agitated crowd the show had officially ended early.
Good evening, my name's Justin. I'm the director of operations. We've decided to conclude the show early in the best interest of those who bought tickets. We apologize for what you've seen tonight. Please email the box office. We apologize. Thank you very much. I'll be in the lobby if you have questions or concerns.
The director promised refunds would be issued.
He is 47 years old. I looked it up. He cannot be acting like that at 47.
Yeah, it sounds like I only saw a few short videos, so it didn't show everything. But yeah, it sounded like it wasn't good.
That's not good.
No, not at all.
I'd heard some things over the years. I heard some things that maybe he was struggling a little bit.
Comedian Richard Lewis was laid to rest last week in a private service at the Temple of Aaron Cemetery in Roseville, Minnesota.
My mother calls me from Jersey, 5:30 in the morning. She has no concept of the 3-hour difference. She says, put on the Today Show. I can't put on the Today Show. Mother, Milky Way is still out my window. There's no Today Show on now. She says, break a leg. I said, thanks. She says, by the way, I don't know if you want to know this before the show. Well, it's a little late now. She says, well, you know, Aunt Faye, she can't move her knuckles. I don't know if you know that. Well... So what do you want me to do? Well, I sent her a get well knuckle card. Oh, I don't know how. Where do I find knuckle cards now? I got a show to do.
According to his death certificate, Lewis, 76, died February 27th after suffering a heart attack. He also dealt with Parkinson's disease, which had forced him into semi-retirement last year. Lewis, who earned the nickname the Prince of Pain with his unique brand of dark comedy, was raised in New Jersey and never lived in Minnesota, but his wife is a St. Paul native and attended the University of Minnesota. Sunday's episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the HBO comedy where Richard was a regular fictionalized version of himself, recognized Lewis with a tribute card at the top of the episode.
It's still an active show, if that's the proper term?
Curb?
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, this is the final season.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it. I had no idea that he was going to be buried here. News to me. Very cool. A couple new seasons of shows returning on Fox tonight include the third season premiere of The Cleaning Lady, followed by the second season premiere of Alert Missing Persons Unit. Then on Paramount Plus, the streaming premiere of Mean Girls, the musical. Former Gopher hockey great and Elk River native Paul Martin, 43 today.
He's a wonderful guy.
Yes, he is.
Hope everything's going well with Paul Martin.
Former Timberwolf Wally Zerbiak turns 47.
Oh, what a stud.
Eva Mendes of Hitch, Training Day, Ghost Rider, and Will Ferrell's very plain wife and the other guys is 50 today.
I saw her naked in that Training Day movie.
Oh, yeah. I guess I did too, and I have forgotten. She was naked in that, wasn't she?
Saw her naked.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've seen him with just a sock over his wiener. The guitar player John Frusciante turns 54. Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irvin turns 58. Happy Dental Assistant Appreciation Week to dental fur mama Stoner Sheezus and any dental assistants who may be listening live or on the podcast. We appreciate you.
Especially the Stoner dental assistants.
Yeah, she's cool. And good luck to Taylor going to the dentist for the first time in 11 years today. Said he's a little nervous about it.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, he also tossed a shout out to his dad, Steven. Happy birthday to Mojo, the 14-year-old cat of more anxiety than hair Jesus, has a birthday today. And I hope my friend Stacy, a.k.a. Stucco Jesus, has a super birthday on this Super Tuesday. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Wearing masks and robbing people in these back streets.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
And so this all brings us here to today, where I announce I'm retiring from the NFL after 13 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. And today, I must admit, I am officially overrated. Vastly overrated. Stepping on the field was the most alive and free I had ever felt. I could hit somebody, run around like a crazed lunatic, and then get told good job. I loved football. The joy of winning, the agony of defeat, the anxiety of the unknown, and the camaraderie of my teammates. I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible, and the biggest on the team.
Speaking of big D's, Randy effing Shaver, everyone.
He's got that big D energy.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's really him.
It really is. In the flesh.
What's going on, Randy Shaver? Not a big concern of mine, but you folks seem to like that Jason Kelsey guy, and he retired from playing pro football yesterday.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame in 5 years.
They call him a first ballot Hall of Famer, Randy Shaver.
Absolutely.
I think if you had more exposure to him, you'd like him as well.
Yeah.
He seems like a good dude and a real man's man.
I'm going to disagree, but he retired from football anyway. I'm kidding.
It's a big news in football yesterday with Kelsey retiring, and now I mean we knew it was coming, and then the release of Russell Wilson and the Broncos having to soak up $85 million in dead money.
What a disaster for them.
What a disaster.
How do they do that?
You got me. I have no idea. I mean, all the draft picks they gave up, the players, honest to God, that has got to be one of the worst decisions ever made in the NFL.
I think it's just because Sean Payton does not like Wilson.
Yeah, but
didn't he also play like garbage?
Yes, exactly.
That was a minor part of it.
What happened with him?
It is by far worse than the trade the Vikings made when they dealt for Herschel Walker.
Well, I think when Mr. Unlimited was dealt to the Broncos, we had that conversation. I think one of the first things we said was the Vikings are off the hook.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We had that conversation.
Yep.
Unlimited. Well, I mean, I think we said the potential was there for it, because if Wilson had turned out to play great for him and they won a few playoff games or whatever, then maybe the deal works, but it has just been an absolute disaster in Denver.
Why was he such a disaster in Denver?
I don't know. I don't know if it was the system. I don't know if it was him. Maybe he just didn't, wasn't as focused on the job.
Good?
Did his work ethic go down the toilet?
Yeah,
something
maybe
like that.
Sierra, maybe something's going on there.
Something wrong with he and the wife are having problems.
I don't. Whatever the situation was,
drugs.
It just absolutely did not work. No, I don't think it was.
Okay, well, I'm looking at BleacherReport.com. They're still dumping the title of worst trade ever on the Vikings, referring to the Herschel Walker deal in 1989.
The only reason why it probably qualifies as the worst deal ever is that when Dallas used those picks for Emmitt Smith and guys like that, and then won consecutive Super Bowls, that's how it becomes the trade that it is because of how Dallas turned those picks.
It's had a little more time to play itself out, obviously. That was 30-some years ago. Right, the Cowboys went on to be the dominant team of the 90s. The Vikings still haven't been back to a Super Bowl since 1977.
Correct.
They're still dumping that title on the Vikings.
But the Vikings, but the money involved is what is eye-opening about this deal. It's not the play, because it's the picks and the players in the Walker trade. It's the money in this trade that is just absolutely mind-blowing that that you're $85 million of dead money.
What does that mean exactly, dead money? Explain that to me. I don't follow the contractual side of the game.
If I understand it correctly, it's money that's on your cap that you can't go and spend for free agents or spend on.
All right.
So does Wilson get? Does he get that? Or?
Oh yeah, I think it was all guaranteed.
So when is that the right decision to get rid of a guy and pay him that much? Can he sweep the stadium or something? Give him something to do.
He's got to run concessions.
What's his nuts again? Russell Wilson, sure, Mr. Unlimited. He's a flaky guy. He is. He's flaky. He's odd. He tells made-up stories. He spends too much time on his hair. He's an odd guy. So I wonder if maybe the problem was he kind of lost his focus. He's a big shot. He's got a hot lady girlfriend, wife kind of a thing happening.
He seems so manufactured and fake.
Yeah, he's fake. That's why he strikes me as well. Okay, here are some of these other garbage trades, according to BleacherReport.com. And sorry, my computer is acting squirrely, but they still want to say that Herschel Walker is number one. And I'll say it for the 1,000,000th time. It wasn't Herschel Walker's fault. It was the Vikings' fault. They didn't know how to use him. Herschel Walker was too good for the Vikings. They didn't understand Herschel Walker.
That was the discussion at the time that he was here, is that
they didn't understand Herschel.
They didn't use him the way that, the correct way, I guess.
Now, I don't know if all of you remember some of these trades, but if you do, go ahead and pipe in. The 49ers traded up for a quarterback named Trey Lance.
Oh yeah.
I don't have great memories of that.
It's just recently. That's the kid out of North Dakota.
Where even is he?
He's in Dallas.
Adam Schefter said he could become a Minnesota Viking. Possibly.
Trey Lance. I've heard the name, but okay.
Wow, I didn't know he was
Trey
with
Lance
Dallas.
is a Marshall, Minnesota native who played at NDSU. He ended up being like the third pick in the NFL draft, and then he got hurt, and he just never played.
Wasn't he waiting in the?
The 49ers traded him to Dallas for like a third or like a sixth round pick or something.
He was like the 49ers, they could not wait for him to be quarterback.
Right. Was he not waiting in the wings behind Jimmy Garoppolo for a while?
Yep.
Well, not for a while. He wasn't there very long.
Well, for a year or two.
But they could not wait until he got on the field.
I want to correct something. I said Adam Schefter. I meant Rich Eisen is the one that suggested Trey Lance could be a Viking.
He said he thinks that Cousins is a process guy, and he's going to go through the process of free agency. And so before he said that, I heard this rumor that a possible salve at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings is a native of the state, and his name is Trey Lance.
Whoa!
Trey Lance is a possible solve for the Vikings. I'm just saying that a possibility out there, kids from the state, as we all know, and that might be an answer.
I don't think that's the answer at all.
Randy disagrees.
And nothing against Trey Lance. I think his career got derailed by an injury in San Francisco, and he just never recovered. He lost the job because Purdy proved to be the player. But
another little garbage trade mentioned in the article from Bleacher Report. I remember these guys I don't remember all the details. The Saints traded their entire draft for Ricky Williams.
That's right. That was Mike Ditka.
Okay, sure. I remember Mike Ditka and Ricky Williams being together in New Orleans, and then Williams couldn't put down the joint sticks. The Colts traded a first-round pick for Trent Richardson, a running back named Trent Richardson.
Yeah,
the Bears traded up in the draft so they could get Mitch Trubisky.
Yes. What a disaster that turned out to be.
Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals traded into the top 10 of the draft for a quarterback named Josh Rosen. I remember his name.
Yep.
And I think that's the end of the list. So there have been some moves. There's no doubt been some moves over the years where you just don't. It ended up being an absolute disaster. So Mr. Unlimited, his cute little ride in Denver has come to an end.
Unlimited.
Please bring his ass to Minnesota, is what I say.
That'd be so fun.
Please bring his ass.
Oh my God.
He can't continue to be this bad, right?
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to predict that wherever he goes next, he has a great year or two, and everyone just kind of remembers Denver as a bump in the road.
Was Seattle
That's just a prediction off the top of my head. What's that?
Was Seattle just that great? Where it just made him look
the defense was so good.
Well, their defense was so good. You're right. The defense was very.
Man came in.
Defense was so good. He was surrounded by some talent there.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, there were just a lot of great pieces put together. Denver had nothing when he showed up there. Remember, but again, Wilson himself did not elevate that team. Did not play well.
You want to hear a couple quotes from Russell here after getting dumped by the Broncos? He says, "Tough times don't last, but tough people do."
Okay.
That's a cool line.
Oh, my God.
In that,
Isn't that like a John Waite song?
That's kind of like Adrian Peterson right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a cliche. You know, I understand why people use it. It makes them feel a little bit better about. Then he throws God into the mix. That always irritates me. But anyway, so there he is. He's ready to be hired.
Well, he'll be hired. There's no doubt about it. He'll be hired.
What was that? Wilson.
That's what they're screaming in Las Vegas. We want Wilson.
I want him to play here because I think he's going to come back and have a
he
terrific.
Comes here, what a 3-ring circus that'll be.
Sail.
I think he'll be terrific.
Let's row.
You can't do row.
I can do whatever I want.
That's a PJ thing, right? Another article I'm reading says Steelers, Raiders.
Steelers I could see.
Might want 'em.
Absolutely. Because I think that Mike Tomlin is a pretty good coach. They have some talent there. Yeah, I could see that.
All right, so back to this Kelsey dude. He retired. And he made some kind of reference to former quarterback Nick Foles' big fat penis during his retirement speech?
Kind of. There's a bit of clickbait. Yeah. He more meant like balls. Like, you know, he had the balls to ask for a specific play to be made.
Talking about that Philly special from the Super Bowl a few years ago. Yeah. Foles had the seeds to ask his coach to run the play, and the coach said yes, and that's what won him the ball game. I got it. Eagles fans brought a keg of beer to wherever he announced his retirement at the Philly, how do you call it, practice facilities?
Sure.
Philly fans brought a keg of Miller Lite into the parking lot. They planned to present it to Kelsey as a retirement gift, but he ignored them altogether. What a dick.
Tailgating a retirement press conference that's next level Philly.
He actually seems like someone that would partake.
Yeah, well, he didn't. He's not who you guys think he is. Yeah, they had a keg of beer in the parking lot. There you go. What else is going on? Yeah, I'm excited for Russell Wilson strapping on a Vikes jersey and letting her buck.
What's the
with the MILF man as the backup?
Yeah, wouldn't
that be something?
There's like a
the odds.
There's like a line that they talk about. Let him what? What's the thing?
Oh, cook.
Line, let him cook. Is that what it is with Russell?
Let Russell cook. I've heard that dumped out. I think that's used on a few different.
That's going to be the next slogan for the Vikings.
T-shirts, pennants.
Yes, let Russell
headbands,
cook.
backpacks. Let Russell cook.
And then on the back, you can have still simmering if he doesn't turn out.
Yeah, nice.
2026. We're still simmering. We swear to God, he's going to get cooking here one of these days.
He's going to get
Well, I will say this. I mean, it sounds kind of, this whole thing sounds crazy in some ways. If Kirk Cousins decides to leave, and it's completely possible.
Yes, my friend.
I mean, in order to keep Justin Jefferson happy, that might not be a bad move for the Vikings.
Right.
Because
Pro Bowl quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yep. You sign a quarterback that's got certainly a little bit of tread on the tire left, who probably has something to prove, who's been there before. You sign Jefferson to the big deal, which you know he's going to get, but he also wants to know who's my quarterback going to be if I sign this deal. So there's a lot going on there.
Is that why you think he's holding out? Because he wants to know?
I don't think he's I don't know if he's holding out, but I'm sure there's some hesitation on his part, wanting to know what does the future look like here. Yes, the money is important, and he wants to be the highest paid, receiver, let alone player in the NFL, and likely in some ways deserves a lot of that. But man, I want to know that the quarterback's going to be somebody that I can work with for at least a couple of years until we figure out maybe, a young kid that's going to turn into a franchise quarterback.
All right, there you go.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Until you bring Cousins into the mix and it gets boring. No, that's the truth. That's the plain truth.
That's all part of it.
Well, but yesterday, Randy, did you fall on your head? Yesterday, as soon as we brought up Captain Death Rocks, you said, tired of it. Just get it over with.
I am tired of it.
But it's fun when you bring
it over. It's fun because now we're bringing in this possible element of a crazy, even a crazier guy, in Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, fun to talk about. Captain Death Rocks, not fun to talk about. I was watching your news show last night, Randy Shaver. I'm not trying to start trouble here, but you're getting your ass kicked so far in that Care 11 food fight thing. Who's winning?
It's not even close.
Just to give folks a heads up here.
Bell's going to win.
You can't feel bad losing to Bell.
No.
Just to give folks a heads up, Randy's in competition with the other personalities on Care 11 to raise a bunch of donated food for folks, who could use the help. Right. And, your people aren't donating squat to you.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, maybe it's my alliance. I don't know.
Wait, we're being blamed?
I don't know.
No.
Anything's possible.
Thank you, Wapple.
Jesus, I could get real aggravated by that comment. I really could. Maybe this is it, Randy Shaver. Maybe our listeners are done doing you favors until you give them something in return.
We've given enough.
What would you like?
Well, don't ask me. Ask our listeners.
Okay, well, tell me what you want.
Free Butterburgers.
I have the
can you
power.
work that out?
Because this shows.
So wait a minute. He's raising food and giving away food at the same time?
Yeah. You got it.
It's confusing.
Yes.
Randy Shaver, our listening audience has done nothing but
I know that.
Good things for you.
I know that.
I thought that was.
You know what? I'm not worried about any of the food fight stuff.
Well, of course, you're all doing wonderful things. Yeah, but it was pretty funny when I'm watching the news last night.
Yeah, I know. And that's the first time I had read it, too, Nick. Yeah. I didn't even know that.
They just
I swear to God, I did not, when I got the original script, it did not have, numbers or anything. And then I'm reading it live on the air last night, and I went, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm getting my butt kicked here.
That was funny.
Producer.
In fact, it's not even close.
Do you remember the numbers? Where
I think Bell was at $6,300, and I think Reggie was at $27.
Randy had 2 cans of soup and a half-eaten candy bar.
Yeah, well, half-eaten sandwich.
It was funny because they put the graphics up, and it said Bell's got 8 million pounds of food, and Julie Nelson, and there's Randy, and Randy says, "How How am I dead stinking last?
That's what I said, too.
You used to be a popular, well-liked guy in town.
I know.
Maybe people just think you don't
that's
need to help.
exactly what I said, too. How in the world am I dead stinking last?
Randy kind of looks back at the graphic.
You're winning in every other way. Maybe that's
a bag of Funyuns and a shoe. And Randy's like, you can't eat a shoe. Why is there
I'm asking the brotherhood. Can you help a guy?
Randy, you might need to start pocketing some extra puddings from the cafeteria at the old folks home to donate.
I have to start donating some stealing it from the old folks home.
Overwhelmingly, people want you to get on OnlyFans, and then they'll open their wallets.
Get it out, Randy.
Whatever it takes.
Get that thing smooth out.
Funny.
I wasn't expecting.
Or at least I know this. At least I'm here on time.
Yeah, you're on time.
That's true.
You're
compared
dedicated
to what Anthony Edwards did last night.
That
at least
was
I'm
odd.
here on time. I've seen a player show up without his jersey. Remember that's happened before, where they had like the warm up on, and then he takes the warm up off, and my jersey's not on. But I've never seen a star player, late for the tip-off because he lost track of time.
It was a hell of a deal last night.
How in the world did that happen?
There was a real relaxed, weird vibe altogether to last night's ball game. It was weird. Not just the Edwards thing. The whole vibe was weird.
Yeah. It's like they
intentionally, in my opinion, I think maybe the collective thought was, look, odds are we're going to beat Portland, even if we F off. And so it was
I felt the same way.
The only guy on the court, Rudy Gobert, must have missed the meeting where it was F off night, because Rudy Gobert was hanging on from the rim like he was 1995 Shaquille O'Neal. Everyone else was just kind of wandering around out there. And so it was odd.
And the sad part is, even with that attitude, they still won the game.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bode well for, I guess what I'm saying is you should learn a lesson from not being for not being part of being focused and
right.
You should learn a lesson. You should get beat in games like that.
There just wasn't
and the Wolves of last year and the year before would have.
Yeah.
But this team has got there is something going on with this team that they can get over some of those things and still manage to win games.
There was zero energy from the Wolves last night. And okay, it was a second of a back-to-back. They played like 5 games in 7 nights. I get all that. Anthony Edwards looked exhausted. Like you mentioned, he was late getting on the floor and had to be substituted in at the first whistle.
Before the tip-off, he's sitting by the scorer's table.
He said he lost track of time. The whole night was just odd. It was a weird vibe. Carl got in foul trouble right away, but they got the win.
Yep, that's
like
all
I said,
that matters.
Rudy was
back in first place in the West.
They did. Maybe it was a prank. They did not tell Rudy Gobert that it was F-off night. Because he was just hanging. It was crazy. He was.
Everyone else is taking a break, but Rudy.
Yeah. Early in the fourth quarter, he turns to the bench and he's like, "Wait a minute, you guys didn't tell me it was F-off night." They closed out their 7-game homestand with a 4-3 record, so now they go on a friggin' long road trip.
Yeah, because they have to be out of the building. We've already talked about that. So
Thursday at Indiana. It was just weird last night. It really was. Okay, do you guys think this is cute? I don't get involved in things like this, but a lot of social media dorks, they think it's adorable that a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, I've heard of him, seen him play, Mike Muscala.
Oh, he's from Roseville.
That's why I've heard of him.
Roseville High School.
That's why his name sounded so familiar.
Yeah.
I went to Roseville.
Guy. Mike's a great guy.
He's on LinkedIn.
That is pretty funny.
Okay. Are you guys all LinkedIn people?
I am.
Not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's the purpose of, what do you do on that, Ashley?
It's like a business version of Facebook.
It's like a networking website, kind of, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people put like, basically it's a big resume, right?
Yeah. Well, Mike's had a lot of teams he's played for, so
and they show up there.
Being LinkedIn is probably important for Mike.
3 of them this year.
Yeah, I mean, Mike has bounced around, and I'll give him a lot of credit. I mean, the guy always finds a team. He's always on a team.
Can he shoot the 3-point basket or something?
He can do everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Journeyman.
So this is kind of fun, I guess, that
he's made a career out of it.
He's on LinkedIn with the rest of us schmucks, and he lists the teams he's played for like anyone would list their normal resume.
Yeah.
It is always weird, like when a celebrity's up there or something like that. It's not very often.
Oh, yeah?
How many teams is Mike listed to have
Well, it's just his second run here with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Other than that, the Wizards and the Pistons and the Argonauts. And the Rams and the Raiders. No, the Thunder twice, Wizards and Pistons is what I have in front of me.
Okay. Sure seems like it's more than that, but
they say he even pays the monthly fee for a premium LinkedIn account.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Josh, you said you're on there or not?
Yeah.
Who do you hang out with on LinkedIn?
Oh, Brad Gillis.
Oh!
Of Night Ranger.
Of course, from Night Ranger.
Stephen Piercy of Rat.
That's where you're making these connections?
Yeah. I mean, it's uncommon. It's just Brad, I hooked up. I should say I hooked up with him. That would be a dream come true. But I linked up with him on that. And then from there, it says, hey, if you're interested in linking up with Brad, what would you think of Stephen Piercy? And I thought, I think that'd be great.
Well.
Why not?
And what do these rock stars put on their LinkedIn page? I mean, does Brad Gillis list all the records he's released?
So, he posts shows where they're going to be and stuff like that. And some of these guys have other ventures, right? And a lot of times it's based around that, like producing or something.
Guitar lessons.
That's okay. I've heard you mention these little connections you have with rock stars. I didn't know it was from LinkedIn.
But it's a lot, people will say, hey, I'm open to work, or here's everything I do. So it's an online resume, essentially.
Okay.
I may have to join.
It's pretty fun.
Maybe you'll finally get some groceries.
Yeah, no kidding.
I might have to join.
I think the fun thing about LinkedIn is that you can see who views your profile.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Mine doesn't do that.
Oh,
it says
really?
I have to get a premium version to see who views my profile.
Oh, yeah. Mine will send me a message and let me know, this person viewed your profile. And it's kind of fun because sometimes it's someone from high school that I haven't talked to in 10 years. And I'm like, oh, just doing some creeping.
I got
an X.
Yeah. That's
what did he
too.
say?
Or an X.
Yep. That's always fun.
Orinex. What is Orinex? Is that some kind of a upholstery cleaner?
I mean, maybe, but I saw one of my exes was looking me up on LinkedIn.
Oh, an X.
Yeah.
I was wondering what Orinex was, too.
Yeah, we were all wondering what Orinex is.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cream of some sort.
One of your ex-girlfriends looked you up on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
She won another run at the Muppet?
Yeah, I was like, hey, look at you. Thought I wasn't that great back then.
Because they're blocked on everything else, right? So they have to go to your LinkedIn. Yeah.
I want to thank folks who are texting in saying that we are connected on LinkedIn. A couple of LinkedIn connections.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I saw one. It was a guy by the name of Soggy Truck Seat Jesus.
Exactly.
He says you and the two of you are connected. Hey, Wample, the ex that looked you up, was it the one that's kind of scary?
Which one?
That's true. Because you're on your third girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And the first two were kind of scary.
Yeah, it was the first
I
one.
think you know which one I'm... Oh, it was the first one.
First one.
Okay, not as scary. People are texting in about the Wolves being so weird and odd and sleepy last night. A listener says, I heard Anthony Edwards had a baby during Friday's game. He didn't play the second half. Yes, that's true. I don't know if his baby had anything to do with him being late to the ball game. Was that his first baby?
Well, I think he was back. I don't think he was late to the game. My understanding was he was
getting
on
onto
back.
right.
Yeah, he was back stretching or whatever and lost track.
Well, that's what he said. I'm just wondering if maybe he got a phone call about the baby, or I don't know. I don't know anything about babies. What do they ask of you? I don't know. So that's why I'm curious. Was that his first baby?
As far as I know.
Couldn't tell you.
There you go. Speaking of babies, I saw a video of a baby yesterday, a baby that must have one hell of a fake ID. Did you see the video of the baby at this soccer game?
Yeah, it's up on 93x.com.
A baby drinking a truly hard seltzer?
Oh, hell yeah.
This is adorable.
They showed a soccer game on television the other day. I don't know who it was, and it doesn't matter. But there's a dad and his kid in the stands. The dad's got one of those reverse backpack baby holder devices.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is there a word for that I should know?
Is it a baby Bjorn?
Yeah, that's it.
So the baby's kind of strapped to his chest, and the baby's drinking a Truly.
I wonder how bad the baby was crying because of teething and he just was like, this is all I got. Let's do it truly. Because it's clear that the baby's like gnawing on it. So I'm guessing the baby started freaking out. And he's like, oh, all right, here we go.
I thought it was cool when he crushed it by hitting it on his forehead afterwards. Like, that is one cool baby.
And then he yelled,
spiked it.
Yeah, he yelled, get some, too.
Get some? This is funny right here. The way the story was written. Judging by the fact the kid was able to pull the can up to its lips, we're assuming that the can was empty, they say here in the story. So no need to destroy the kid's future with an underage drinking ticket.
That'd be kind of cute, though. Little fake cop ticket.
Now, of course, some folks on social media thought that this was a bad look.
Ugh.
To even let the kid hold the can in the first place. It's a bad look.
Well, I guess if other babies are watching, they might think it's cool. And
yeah, he's gonna be the coolest kid at daycare.
Yes,
he's an influencer.
Well, wait, what's the term? There was a real popular term for a while that meant a bad look. God, I know you guys know this because you spend time on the internet. I can't come up with it. It was the word was everywhere. Anything that someone perceived to be negative was called
sus.
No, it's not stupid teenage stuff like that. I'll get back to you. Other people thought the baby drinking a Truly was a perfect visual representation. That's not the word. A perfect visual representation of, and I hate this bit too, America.
Medical device Jesus said he saw that same baby selling weed on a street corner. He's thrown away his life.
Dude, one of the greatest stories ever told was that baby selling weed on a street corner. It's not optics. There's something else there.
This is going to bother me.
It's not cringe. Someone will get it. Someone will get it. There was a hip, trendy term for... Someone will get it. At what age did you start feeding your kids hard alcohol, Randy Shaver?
As soon as they started opening their mouth.
Boy.
Just quiet them down with it.
Yep. Let's keep the noise down.
I mentioned earlier that the local Gals Pro Hockey Club is all alone in the spotlight tonight. If you're going down to the X, or maybe you're not, you can watch the Gals play Ottawa, 7 o'clock on Bally Sports North. It's not dodgy. It's not trifling. It's not red flag. These are all good guesses, though. It's not peculiar. Okay. Speaking of hockey, the New Jersey Devils fired their coach, Lindy Ruff. They've been struggling. I would not have the balls to fire Lindy Ruff. That dude is nuts. Been around a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Okay, some baseball here. Josh Donaldson has retired.
And he took all the Twins' money with him.
Yep. Well, how much money do they have?
Well, they gave him a guaranteed 4-year deal, right? That was
I can't remember. I can't remember.
It was the first long-term contract that he had ever signed in his career. And I believe it was all guaranteed. And he lasted, 2 years here? Year and a half?
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Injured a lot.
He was injured all the time.
He was kind of broken coming into the mix when the Twins brought him on board. I did like some things about Josh Donaldson when he was here. I liked that he was
intense.
He portrayed himself to be kind of nuts.
He was very open. He talked about everything.
Yeah.
He was intense. You're right about that. He wasn't afraid to run his mouth and start a little trouble with the opposition. Yep. I liked that part of his game. He's 13 years in the bigs. He's going to retire.
He was hoping to hook up with a team this year, but it just didn't happen. So,
you weren't thinking toxic, were you?
No.
Yeah. Munging?
No.
People wrong. Whole Jesus thinks you meant munging.
Yeah, I didn't mean munging. People are sending in all kinds of great guesses, and I appreciate it. Maybe this is the liquor talking. There was a word.
There's just one word? It wasn't like the same?
At this point, I don't know. Like I said, it might be the liquor talking.
What about like what people used to say, like, that ain't it?
No.
Problematic?
No.
This is going to bother me.
Incontinence.
It's not toxic if somebody I'm sorry if someone said that already. Just don't worry about it right now. Don't worry about it. I appreciate all the help from the listeners.
Dumpster fire.
No.
Yeah, toxic is like the number one answer, including from spicy queef cheeses.
Oh!
Yes.
The best kind.
Never wrong.
Bad look?
That might be it. Again, don't worry about it.
Hot mess.
No.
Brad sucks.
That's mean. He does not.
Brad sucks?
Yeah.
As in Brad Ryder?
That's
it.
Texted that in.
That's it.
Randy says yes.
Here's the deal. Well, we were talking baseball there for a minute. Okay, so Shohei Ohtani's contract. It's all kittywampus.
Well, yeah, he's backloaded the whole thing, right?
Right.
So
heavily deferred is what they call it. 10-year agreement with the Los Angeles Dodgers in kind of a slick way to mess with the salary cap and luxury tax rules and all that. Like this year he's getting paid $35.29, right? Yeah, but next year he's going to get $600 billion, right? All that.
Well, I think they spaced it out over a long period of time.
10 years, right? That's what I have in front of me.
The deal itself is that, but I think is the money deferred past that too? It might be deferred. It might be like a Bonilla deal.
Yeah, right.
It's deferred past.
Okay, you might be right. It goes on until the day that he dies.
Because he wanted to make sure that the Dodgers could still go out and sign players because he wants to win a World Series.
Right. So on that subject, I saw a write-up the other day about contract quirks. Contract quirks, I guess, is a good way to put it. Some, like I was saying, were meant to navigate money issues.
Right.
Others were just unique, to appease a player. And there's a couple in here that are pretty interesting. Maybe you remember them, maybe you don't. Sure. We were just talking about Raleigh Fingers last week, weren't we?
Yeah.
Longtime pitcher in the big leagues. And he had this slick handlebar mustache.
Right.
Like the kind you see in old-timey movies.
Did he have it in his deal that he needs a certain kind of wax?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Then the hipsters brought back the handlebar mustache a number of years ago during the hipster I ride a unicycle, drink PBR, and eat only bacon craze from a few years. Remember that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Raleigh Fingers had it written into his contract. I don't remember which ball club it was that he was playing for. He received a $100, is it stipend?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
For mustache wax to maintain his iconic handlebar stash.
That's great.
Manny Ramirez, at one point or another, when he was playing in Japan, made it part of his contract that he got unlimited sushi.
Easy enough to do there.
Yeah.
While he was playing baseball over there.
And I bet he could put some sushi away, too.
Yeah.
I can't stand that garbage, but some people love it. So not only did he, when he was playing for the Kochi Fighting Dogs from a Japanese independent league over there, he got the unlimited sushi, he got a chauffeur wherever he went, a private hotel suite on road trips, optional practice.
Can you imagine that?
That is cool.
How nervous would you be to ask for something like that?
Yeah.
I would never.
Well, by this point in his career, he was 40 years old. He'd won a couple of World Series, right?
I bet Justin Verlander could write that into his contract.
Josh, you shouldn't be afraid to ask for those things after 30 years in the business. You should ask for things like this.
Well, I'd worry about coworkers thinking you're a giant douchebag. Or in this case,
since when have we ever cared about our coworkers?
We do care about our coworkers.
I do not.
I know.
Ask for
some you do. That's not true.
Ask for a fountain pop machine next time.
That would be pretty sweet.
Fountain sodas.
Mm-hmm. Big budgets around here. They could make that.
Yeah. Like a hot dog roller. That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Just a convenience store.
Yeah. Can we get a convenience store in here, please?
Our guy in town here, Alex Rodriguez, back in the year 2000 when he signed a big fat-ass deal with the Texas Rangers. He didn't play there for long, and I guess this never played out, but there was some clause in his contract that the Rangers would be mandated to either raise his salary $5 million or $1 million more than the highest paid player in baseball. So he would always be, I guess, the highest paid player in baseball. Roy Oswalt, pitcher, longtime pitcher in the bigs. Maybe you remember this one. When he was pitching for the Houston Astros, the owner of the ball club at the time promised Roy, if he signed a contract with the Astros, a tractor.
That's really cool.
He wanted a Caterpillar D6N XL for his ranch. And they said, yeah, we'll get you a tractor.
We were promised pickup trucks from a big corporate guy.
Yes, we were. In one of the phoniest displays of false power we've ever seen. And radio is headquarters for people who portray themselves to be way more powerful than they really. It's world headquarters. There was just some big shot in town, right? I don't know who he was. I don't remember.
He didn't last in the company very long.
He was some big shot, and we had to go meet him in his office. And when we walked into his office, he had a phone to his ear because he's always busy, always making deals.
Making things happen.
To this day, I don't believe there was really another live human being on the other end of that phone.
No, this was all for show, for sure.
He was all wanting to show us that he was just a high roller, big shot, swinging D. And this is what he says as we walk in. He's got the phone to his ear, and he goes, hang on a second, guys, I'm on the phone. Yeah, $1 million? Yeah, sure.
Back it up.
That sounds fine. Okay. No, fire her. No, okay, then hire her. Yeah, and then fire him. Okay. And then he puts his hand over the mouthpiece, right?
Yep.
So the imaginary person on the other end of the phone couldn't hear. And he says, who here needs a car? You need a car? You need cars?
Yeah, you like pickup trucks? You want a pickup?
Truck? You want a pickup? And he gets back on the phone and goes, yeah, I need 4 pickups. Anyway, all right, I got to talk to my team now, so I got to go. It was all nonsense.
And that was the first time we met him. And that was pretty much it. It was just, okay, nice to meet you, and we were gone.
Right.
Did you get the pickup?
We never did, believe it or not.
Never saw the guy again. No one ever got a pickup.
Wow.
I swear to God.
No subcompact car even. I mean, nothing. We got nothing.
Okay, let me make sure I got this right. He came to talk to you guys while he was on the phone?
Yes.
Oh, all right. That
No,
makes
we
no
came
sense.
to talk to him while he was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
He came to town.
No,
I thought he was on the phone and like walked into the studio and then was like, okay, hold on, guys.
You're picturing a cellular phone. I'm talking an old school telephone with a cord on it and
he was
everything.
in an office. He came to town to meet people here.
I swear to God, I saw dried cocaine under his right nostril. It was just,
gosh.
You want to pick up? You want to pick up? I need 4 pickups.
Sounds like Oprah.
I'm the big shot around here. Albert Pujols might be interested in becoming a big league manager. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He's working with this team and that team right now. You know, he's starting on the ground floor. He wants to be I can't picture him being a manager. I really can't.
either. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's only because I guess I was raised, I know it's very different now, but I was raised during a time period, and I'm stuck in that time period, obviously, where managers were scrawny, pot-bellied old men. Yep. Right?
I'm trying
Sparky
to think of
Anderson, Earl Weaver, guys like
I'm trying to think of Hall of Fame players who were managers, like Frank Robinson back in the day.
Okay, Frank Robinson's a great answer.
Pete Rose, but he's not in the Hall of Fame, but obviously a great player.
I don't know about Hall of Fame. I can't remember if all these characters.
Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What about Lou Piniella?
Yeah, I don't know if he's Hall of Fame.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't think Joe Torre.
Right. Let's skip the Hall of Fame. Let's just talk about great play because I can't remember who was in. Joe Torre. Who did you say before Joe Torre?
Lou Piniella.
Lou Piniella. Moises Alou.
No.
Moises Alou was a great ball player. He managed the Expos. Okay, anyway, I don't know what. Do you need anything, Randy? You need a Mercedes? I'll get you a Mercedes.
Who else wants a Mercedes? You like luxury cars?
Yeah, I do.
Good question, Randy. There's probably plenty that we're not thinking of.
Yeah.
Plenty that we're not thinking of. And there you go. Ted Williams, Eastbound at Sundown Jesus. Ted Williams. That's a great end. You must be an old-timer, Eastbound at Sundown Jesus. Are you old? Get back to me. And what is that term I was trying to come up with? Finally, before we go, Randy, I'm more out of touch with television wrestling than I ever have been in my entire life, and I'm ashamed.
Even AEW? Have you? You don't talk about it as much.
I have, because I haven't seen it in I don't know, a year or two, because of this stupid job and those coworkers that you claim I like, and I don't.
Well, I
said
I like them. There's one or two you like.
Well, like you
and Derek.
I don't like Derek.
Oh,
What
I
did
thought you did.
Oh my God!
I thought you liked Derek.
Our program director? No.
Yeah. What about Bill? You like Bill?
Oh, Bill's cool.
I'm gonna go. I don't like Bill.
Oh my God!
This is news to Bill.
Because of this stupid job, I no longer have the time. I just don't have the time to watch wrestling programming anymore, and I'm ashamed of myself. I can tell you this much though, Paul Heyman. What?
Could part of that be you have a new wife too? Maybe
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what he did yesterday?
She has nothing to do with it. No. What? What about yesterday?
You know what Nick did? You've changed, man.
What
happened?
He checked his corporate work email.
Wow.
And he responded to emails.
You responded to emails?
Two things he never does.
Dude, that's
He's
crazy.
grown up. He's grown up.
Did people think it was like a phishing email? When you responded?
They do test us around here. I know, because Dana's failed like 4 times.
Oh, yeah, many times.
Here's the thing. It's got to be done. It's got to be year after year after year. I go without checking my emails, and then I get locked out of the system. You guys know how?
Yeah.
Do you know how that works? If you don't check them, they lock you out, and they act like they've never heard of you. It's a mind F. So I'm so tired of that battle every few months to fight my way back into the company emails, because they force us to take these little quizzes and whatnot, right?
We have another one we have to do.
So I have to. I mean, you guys know this. I have to start checking these. I'm so tired of that process. Me and an engineer sat here for 2 hours a week or so ago to try to get me back into the. So that has nothing to do with the old lady. That's just I gotta do it. I just have to.
Kind of sad.
It makes me sad, too. I don't want anything to do with that crap.
Well, I more mean it might get in the way of a couple of relationships I have in the building where they come to me and say, can you please tell Nick? Stuff we all know, because we check the emails. He's got to do this training. Can you please just kind of stay on him about that? Make sure he does this training. And those people I might not talk to as much anymore, so I'm a little sad.
I'm sorry to come in between you and those relationships, but I have to at least make an effort to be a live human being in the company, at least via electronic mail, because I'm so tired of that process.
Well, you've only been here since 1994 or 1995. It's not like you never were going to do it.
Oh,
I mean, they should give you a pass because you've only been here since then.
They should give me a friggin' pass. I was here before emails were invented.
Correct. You were here before the company email.
I was here before cell phones, and all. Why do I need to get involved in this?
Right. But I don't need those fancy things anymore.
I'm a Hall of Famer.
You know what's kind of funny about that too is you've chosen to start checking your corporate email in the toughest time to access our corporate email. It is brutal.
Well, so far it's pretty easy because I just got in like a week. Anyway, what I was saying about wrestling, Paul Heyman has been selected for this year's edition of the WWE Hall of Fame. He's an all-time great character. He's not in, apparently, Wapple.
Wow.
I was surprised by that, too.
That shocks me.
I haven't followed this kind of stuff. Paul Heyman, great character. Great. He's great at what he does. And he'll be inducted before WrestleMania month or whatever, however long it takes to complete WrestleMania these days.
It's a process.
There you go, Randy. I'm sorry about your troubles with the food fight. We'll get people on it as quickly.
Don't worry about it.
We'll get people on it.
Where do we go? We posted all this stuff, right?
All the money goes to the same place. It's okay.
Yeah, there's links to it on our Twitter page and on 93x.com.
I'm not competitive. It's okay.
That's one thing we've learned about you. That's for sure.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson. The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Can you believe it? It's already 8:34. It's Tuesday. We're on our way to wrapping up our Tuesday broadcast here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. And we love you very much for being there for us. Despite the fact that listening to our show is a bad look. It is. You know why Josh's wife is cool?
Why?
Because she still flirts with me even though she has a husband.
I appreciate that about her.
You know what else is cool about your wife, Josh? She still calls me Big Poppy whenever we see each other. Calls me Big Poppy.
Calls me Lil Poppy.
Lil Poppy. No, honestly, you know what I thought was really cool? Not that I was surprised. I've known your old lady for a long time, and she's always been one of the more pleasant people I've ever encountered in my life. So it wasn't a total shock, but I thought it was really, really cool when a couple weeks ago, you and I were heading off to the Mr. Big concert, which was a dream come true for the both of us. And my God, what an outstanding show that was.
It was one of the best I've seen.
Your wife, who couldn't give two pumps about that kind of music. She's into the hip-hop, R&B type of a scene. But knowing it was important to you, she accompanied you to the show.
Not only that, but so it was a present for our anniversary. And I had no idea. Obviously, she was going to get those. She presented them to me. I got a side story about that in a second. I've told it before. I got to tell it again, though. She presented them to me. She did the research. Paul Gilbert, the guitar player, Mr. Big, is one of, if not my favorite guitar player of all time.
Right.
It's almost creepy how much I love Paul Gilbert. And I might accidentally have to buy one of his model guitars at some point. But she researched...
I really thought you were going to buy it the next day.
We were
saw
sitting
him.
at the concert, and I was like, I might accidentally buy one of his guitars on the way home.
Right.
But my wife researched where he stands on the stage to buy tickets, on that side, which was...
That's pretty special.
That is really cool of her.
Never would have thought of something like that. And you know what else is great about her? She'd never make me go to one of the concerts she likes. Who played, was it T-Pain that played for the Twins game?
After the game at Target Field?
Yeah, so she likes, him and Post Malone, all those kind of artists that, it's not like I dislike him, it's just not my thing, and she never would ask me to go. But you're right, that was really nice of her to go to the show with me, all the research she did. She even talked to you and the boss about us taking the next day off.
Most significant others would have said, here's your pair of tickets, go have a good time. And that would have been enough. She even researched which side of the stage where you'd be closest to your idol, Paul Gilbert.
But so I wanted to mention an aside. I did tell this before, but she said, hey, here's these tickets. And I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. That's great. And as we're sitting there, I'm texting Nick. Oh, no, I can't remember. I texted you.
You did.
And said, dude, Aaron just gave me tickets to Mr. Big. Do you want to go? Are you available?
Right.
Not realizing that, she might have wanted to make it something. And I felt like such a dick. But she was even cool about that. She's like, of course you'd want to go with him.
Probably should have asked her first.
I didn't even think of it, but you're right. I should have.
Not everyone's significant other can be as cool as Cubby's old lady. What are some of the hobbies and interests that you have that your significant other refuses to take part in? What are some of the hobbies and interests that you have that your significant other refuses or just has never shown any interest in taking part in? Now, I have a few answers to this question already. I do. And the rest of you can think about it if you need to. Television wrestling. I know I was just saying 15, 20 minutes ago that my miserable current existence doesn't allow me the time to watch any television wrestling, and I'm ashamed of myself. I love that stuff, and I haven't watched a lick of it in easily over a year. But back when I was still able to see a little bit of wrestling, my wife, absolutely zero interest in television wrestling. She thinks it's the dumbest thing in the world. Hard rock. She hates it. When I turn on the hard rock, she usually requests that I turn it to something softer. She doesn't like, she calls it devil music. She's not going to sit there and listen to Megadeth and Judas Priest records with me. Foul language. I know some of you are saying, that's a hobby or an interest. I'm going to include it because I love foul language. I love swearing. She hates it. She hates there's certain word, a lot of foul words she doesn't like. She gets all aggravated.
You told me, and you referenced this not too long ago, but something she said at a bar where even I was like, my word.
She can be a little hypocritical when it comes to the foul. She can be, because she gets mad if I'm watching a Wolves game and I go, mother effer, pass the effing ball, you dip. She gets mad at that, but then at the bar she tells these gross oral sex scenarios. She can be hypocritical.
Josh has an Urban Dictionary. He's looking up words.
Oh, I knew what it meant, that I was shocked.
Old television shows, a big interest of mine. I love watching All in the Family and Sanford and Son and Cheers. She hates the old. She only will watch new television programming. And finally, pocket billiards. Not that she hates it, but she never has taken any interest in joining me when I play at the house. So I get it. I mean, you don't have to see eye to eye. You don't have to spend all your time, hey, we're watching this show together. We're doing this. You don't have to have that in your life to be happy, because some of my biggest interests, things that I really love, she wants no part of, and I'm totally cool with that.
I would say the number one answer coming in via text, and thank you so much for your text.
Yeah, go ahead. Text us if you got one.
Yeah, these are great. Well, these are interesting. They say, the thing that my significant other doesn't like to do with me is sex.
Oh, sure.
That's the number one answer.
Of course.
I should have seen that approaching. I did not.
I guess I'm pretty lucky. I can't think of any hobbies that he would refuse to do.
Well, you mentioned one already today. You mentioned one today. Your rock collecting or whatever it is you do. Didn't he call you a dork for that?
Yeah, he calls me a dork, but if I ever asked him, hey, do you want to go agate hunting with me, he would.
He would?
Yeah, we,
Jesus, you...
most of our...
Got him by the balls.
No, most of our little hobbies that we have, we've exposed each other to them, and we've enjoyed them.
Really?
So, he didn't play pool at all before he met me, and... I guess in the beginning, he didn't seem super excited about it, but then he played maybe 10 games and then was all right, I'm into this now. This is a part of my life.
I'll tell you what, all you had to say is that he would agree to go agate hunting with you. Your relationship obviously is just fine. 10 Britney Spears could ask me to go agate hunting and I would say no.
I bet by the 8th you'd go, okay, fine, let's go.
It depends on what she's wearing to go agate hunting. And
she's got the snake around her shoulders.
Oh.
Every time you say no, she takes off another piece of clothing.
All right, you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
Ask me about CrossFit Jesus, who I adore. Said, just look at my name to figure out what my wife wouldn't do with me. No CrossFit. I'd love to hang out with Ask Me About CrossFit Jesus, but I think I would die trying CrossFit. Don't have the cardio
I've done
for
it
that.
once, and it was way, way harder than I thought it was going to be. I was dead by the end. Almost tapped out halfway through.
I know it's kind of hard to have a clear mind when you're totally pee-whipped, but Wapple and Dana, did you come up with any hobbies or interests that your significant others refuse to get not with you?
Dana, you're going to be a great source for this.
Yeah.
Well, where do we start? My significant other, she's not a fan of soccer. She's like, it's cool that you like it, go watch it, but I don't need to sit here with you while you watch a match.
But she did over the weekend and had a funny line, right?
Oh, yeah, she did. So my favorite team was playing, and they missed a very easy goal that they should have. It was basically an empty netter, and they somehow pushed it wide. And because she listens to the show, she's been saying this a lot now. She goes, "Oh my word!"
The clip we sometimes play.
The clip we play of the guy getting his karate head chopped off, basically. So she did say this. So she will occasionally watch with me, but she kind of comes in and out of the room. She's not interested, and that's fine. I don't need her to sit there with me while I watch a match.
Yeah, that would be hard for me.
I think the only thing for me is marijuana.
She doesn't take an interest in marijuana cigarette smoking?
She's so over me coughing all the time. She's like, you're going to collapse along.
You know, I'm surprised by that. Not because I know anything about her, but I just figured with how often you do it, whoever your significant other was would be into it as well.
I mean, she's cool with it, but
She doesn't smoke with you?
No.
Good for her.
God, not at all.
I finally found something I like about your girlfriend. Good for her. That she's not falling in line with everyone else. Good for her. I think that's great that she doesn't smoke grass with you.
Yeah, that's
one less friggin' pothead to worry about.
That's something. I would not have expected that.
I think that's the only thing.
What it do, Jesus said, I'm not like over-the-top gym bro, but I do wish my girl would show more interest in learning the fitness life.
Really?
Yeah,
He
she's
wants
just
her to...
not
I
into
can
it
see
as
that.
much.
Just wanting to be able to talk about it and
That
have
stuff
them understand.
sucks. But that's a big ask, right?
Yeah,
it's not like
it's a big change to your lifestyle.
Yeah. It's not like asking someone to sit down and watch Sanford and Son with you, or it's ask someone to enjoy, try a food that you enjoy. Hey, come to the gym with me and work out. That's a big ask because that stuff sucks.
It does.
Yep.
It totally sucks.
My boyfriend texted me and he said the only thing that he could think of is that we don't enjoy the same style of video games. And I will say that does suck because we can't really play video games together. I think the games he plays are stupid.
Well, at least you both appreciate video games, though. It'd be one thing if he was like, video games are dumb.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, you go over there and you play your weird game, and I'll go over here and play the cool game.
My girlfriend hates it. She's like, you instantly get way better at the game than I could ever be. Right
That
away.
does frustrate me when I
Talk about a humble brag right there. Jesus Christ.
I just wrote that down in my humble brag diary.
That was one of the most annoying humble brags I've ever heard in my life.
I hate when I invite my boyfriend to play a video game that I've been playing for like a week, and then he plays it for 3 hours, and he's way beyond how good I am.
Jesus, Wapple.
Yeah,
doesn't that suck when your girlfriend hates you because you're so awesome at something?
She's terrible at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She's horrible.
I kind of know what you're saying there, Ashley. My brother-in-law, he's a genius. Certified genius. He's good at pretty much everything. I mean, if you throw a football at him, there's some trouble. But, but outside of that, he's just good at everything. And at the time, we were just talking about this earlier, Guitar Hero, I got pretty good at it. I was never expert, but I could go on the hard level and do okay. And I thought, and he played it and he was terrible. And I thought I finally got kind of a nerdy thing on him. But within, 20 minutes, he was on expert.
Yeah.
It was a show. I was watching a show. I thought I finally had something on him.
I hate that bastard.
Yeah, and it's gone.
He made Cubby sad.
Yeah, he did.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's a complete crap.
All right, we got to get out of here pretty soon. We do. I know it's a damn shame, but we got to get out the way. We've been talking about the hobbies and interests that we have that our significant others want nothing to do with. I was telling you about, for me, wrestling, hard rock, foul language, old television shows, pocket billiards. My friggin' wife, she wants nothing to do with any of it, and that's fine. But that's the subject at hand, the hobbies and interests that we have that our significant others want nothing to do with.
Now, my wife will join me on stuff without too much complaint, but there are things she just doesn't want to do. Like, she doesn't like home improvement stores at all, and I love them.
That's your wheelhouse.
I know, I love them.
They're so fun.
Or go into an electronics store or something like that.
And see, I would hate those things as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys make a good couple.
I know.
You guys both love wrestling, and
we're going to be at the New Edition concert. Well,
you both love New Edition,
right? We love New Edition.
So, which I can't figure out, right? I don't know why people don't enjoy those stores. All the possibilities, all the things I don't know how to do. I don't know. I love it, but she doesn't like to go to those things. She'll put on a face if I'm like, hey, do you want to run to this home improvement store or that? Or this electronics store.
That proves how much she loves you.
Yeah, she'll go.
She thinks
she's
you're
a
something
good person.
special.
She's the better spouse.
Here are some of the answers we got. She's not the better spouse. But anyway, here are some of the answers we got from our listening audience. They've gone ahead and they've admitted some of the interests and hobbies that they have that their significant other wants nothing to do with. One individual says hunting. She hates that I go deer hunting. Hates is a whole different thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Refuses to take part in, hates. I guess it's all the same category. One listener, R6 Jesus. My
Nice.
lady, what did I say?
R6 Jesus. I'm assuming he's referring to the Yamaha.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not, but
My lady would never get involved in paintball. I shot her in the thigh once, and that was it for her.
Oh, fun.
Many of you said fishing. Your significant other won't get involved, join you on any fishing trips. Another person here says he or she doesn't give a rat's ass about motorcycle rides. They got a motorcycle. They go on rides all the time. Significant other doesn't care.
Yeah, there's a few folks that checked in on that.
Autistic ADHD Jesus. My wife, that's not a thing. My wife refuses to ever play Magic the Gathering with me. She calls it Magic the Losering. Because you're a loser.
For that. All right.
Horror movies. My significant other won't watch any horror movies with me, and I love them.
Oh, that would suck.
Poonhound in Mound Jesus. Refuses to watch or allow. This is interesting. She refuses to watch and also doesn't allow me to watch. Okay, you got to handle that. Married with Children in her presence.
Oh, I wonder what she doesn't like about it.
Well, I think
misogynistic.
Yeah, it's all TNA and shut up wife and
it's been a long time since I watched, but I know there was controversy around it. AOL.com, Jesus said he likes not sleeping around while in a relationship, but all his significant others seem to hate it.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm sorry.
I'm a huge computer nerd, says this listener. My wife wants nothing to do with computers at all, but last anniversary she took me on a surprise trip and bought me everything I wanted to build a brand new computer. That sounds like
that's awesome.
Your wife, Josh, she's not dialed into it. She doesn't, but she'll help you out. She'll support you. Binge drinking. A listener says that their significant other has no interest in binge drinking. Basketball. She hates basketball. Hockey. He won't watch hockey with me. He hates hockey. Another listener says my wife never wants to be civil with me. That's a problem. I'm interested in being civil. She has no interest in... My wife won't watch us play beer league softball. Well, why the hell would you?
Might want to go to a game or two.
I enjoyed playing beer league softball, but I ain't going to go watch anybody do it.
Right.
Oh, look, a weak single to right field. How exciting is that?
It seems like a lot of people who are into motorsports are checking in saying their significant other is not interested and doesn't understand the fascination. I'd love stuff like that.
RC cars.
Oh, man, cool.
That would be so cool.
Individual can't get their significant other to take any interest in one of their hobbies, which is RC cars.
Always wanted one of those.
Those cool souped up ones?
Yeah, like the gas-powered ones.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
You want to know how you can keep your significant other from coming back to the beer league softball game? I'll tell you a little story about my pal, Curtis. Curtis puts his foot in his mouth now and again.
We all do.
No, of course. Number of years ago, Curtis's wife, the Iowa Field, that's what we call her, she used to come and watch us play beer league softball. There were a number of wives and girlfriends who did. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, they just get to hang out together and have a few drinks, but I know I wouldn't have done that favor for them. I wouldn't have come and watched them play. But a lot of wives and girlfriends came to the games back in those days when we were young. One of our teammates, I should backtrack. The wives and girlfriends always sat in the bleachers, right? Every game they sat in the bleachers. They didn't come anywhere near the bench. One game, one of our teammates, oh boy, he brought this scorching hot blonde. It was his new girlfriend, and he wanted to introduce her to all of us. So scorching hot blonde girlfriend accompanies my buddy to our softball game, and she comes immediately over and sits on the bench with us all game long, and we're laughing and having a good time with the new scorching hot blonde girlfriend, and she's meeting everybody and having a beer on the bench. After the game, Curtis's wife approaches him and says, "So, how come the new girlfriend gets to sit on the bench, but we have to sit in the bleachers?" And Curtis said this to his wife. He said, "Honey, when you look like that, you can sit wherever you want."
Oh man. No, dude.
That's how you get your wife to stop coming to the beer league softball games.
Oh.
I thought you said he puts his foot in his mouth sometimes, and then you tell that story.
When you look like that, you can sit wherever you want.
Sprinkler fitter Jesus loves tractor pulling, and his wife is right there with him on it. How do you not like tractor pulls?
Why the hell? Why didn't we sign up for that decades ago, John?
I know there's so many of those things I wish I got into.
I should have been a bowler, and I should have been involved in tractor pulls. You know, it's all good. You just don't have to be hand in hand with your significant other at all times. You can have separate things going on.
And they might just want some time away from you, and maybe the feeling's mutual. You know, you have your own thing going on.
That's exactly right, Cubby.
We got a nice text this morning from Matt Flipper, Supervisor Jesus, thanking the fire department in Waseca and all the surrounding areas for battling a wildfire which took out 2,000 acres on Sunday, putting their lives in the line of danger, keeping people in their homes safe. So our appreciation to you. Good luck to Candy Jesus, passed a credential test for work and has an interview for a promotion today. Hope you get it. All balls, short shaft Jesus has asked for a birthday shout out to his friend Ranger to Lund Jesus, turning 40 today or tomorrow. He said he forgot the date. He's not sure, but the sentiment's there. NWO Jesus texted in to say he wanted everybody to know he's 44 years old today. He goes on to say it's not his birthday, but he thought everyone should know. He's 44 today.
Oh, congrats.
Happy birthday to Devin from your friend of 10 years, tree-loving Taco Jesus. And happy birthday to Stacy, a.k.a. Stucco Jesus. Have a great Tuesday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.